tov olecha Yaakov, Mishkenoteka Yisrael, Wani barov chastecha, avo beteka, estachawe el hilkal kwachekar birateka, Adonai ahavti me'on beteka, umekom mishkan kevodeka, Wani estachawe ekra'a, evreka lefenei Adonai osi, Wani tefilati leka Adonai, et ratzon, Elohim barav chastecha, elene be'amen yishecha.
Who has fashioned man in wisdom, created in him many orifices and tubes. It is available upon our glorious throne. If one of these be open and stop, it will be impossible to exist and stand before thy presence. Blessed art thou, Lord, who healeth our flesh and wonders wondrously. Hallelujah! Blessed art thou, Lord, our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us by thy commandments, and commanded us to study the words of the Lord. Make pleasant, therefore, we perceive still, Lord, our God, the words of the Lord in our mouth and the mouth of thy people, the house of Israel, so that we with our offspring, and the offspring of thy people, the house of Israel, may all know thy name alone, thy Lord. Blessed art thou, Lord, who teacheth the Lord, to thy people Israel. Hallelujah! Blessed art thou, Lord, our God, King of the universe, who has chosen us from all nations and given us thy law. Blessed art thou, Lord, who gives us the law. Hallelujah! When thou bear the Nayam Moshe more, thou bear El Aharon El Belal more. Kol Tifakur Bele Israel, Amon Lahem, Yivanecha, Yehovah Yishmanecha, Amen, King Yehiratzon, Ya'ir Yehovah Aleka Rachunecha, Amen, King Yehiratzon, Yisai Yehovah, Hanal Aleka, Uyasim Leka Shalom, Amen, King Yehiratzon, when Samuel et Shemi Al Bnei Israel, Wadi Avad Kem, Hallelujah! 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 private. He should acknowledge the truth to speak the truth in his heart. Let him rise up early and say, sovereign of all the world and Lord of lords, not because of our righteous deeds do you present our supplication before thee, but for thy great mercies. What are we? What is our life? What is our piety? What are acts of righteousness? What is our salvation? What is our strength? What is our might? What shall we say before thee, Lord our God and God of our fathers? Are not all the mighty ones like Lord before thee, and men as famous though they were not, wise though without knowledge, and men of understanding though they avoided discretion, for the multitude of their works is emptiness, and the death of life of vanity before thee, and the preeminence of man over beast is known, for all is vanity, except the pure soul that give account and reckon it, for I know the majesty, and all nation that was known before thee, as it is said, all nations doth a bucket, and is counted as a small vessel of the balance, behold the hours are made away. Hallelujah! How dear we are thy people, the children of thy covenant, the children of Abraham that love thee. Do us make an oath to Mount Moriah, the seed of Isaac, his only son, who was bound upon the altar, the congregation of Yaakov, the son of firstborn, whose name I don't know that is bear him, and the joy of rejoice over him. Thou didst call Yisrael and Yeshurun. It is therefore due to give thanks unto thee, to praise thee, to glorify thee, to bless and hallow in the place that's given to thy name. Happy are we, how good is our portion, how pleasant our lot, how beautiful our inheritance. Happy are we when early in the morning and in the evening, when we come again in the house of prayer, the house of learning. We declare the unity of thy name every day continually, and out of love twice daily. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchut Torah Olam Va'ed. Psalm 34. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make her boast in the Lord. The meek shall hear and rejoice. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, he answered me, and delivered me from all of my fears. And looked up to him and showed with joy. Their face shall not be confounded. They sat the cloud, the Lord heard him, and saved him out of all his troubles. The angel of the Lord campeth round about them that fear him, and delivered them. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Happy is the man that take refuge in him. Oh, fear the Lord, ye his holy ones, for there is no one to them that fear him. Your lives do not us up for hunger, and they that seek the Lord shall not want any good. Come, ye children, hearken unto me. I will teach you to fear the Lord. What man is he with the rights of life, and love many days that he may see good. Keep thy tongue from evil, and I let you speak in God. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord toward the righteous, and his ears are toward their cry. The face of God is against them that do evil, to cut off the rivers of them from the earth. The righteous cry, the Lord hearkens, and delivers them out of all their troubles. The Lord is nigh unto them that are broken heart, and say, this is a contrite spirit. Men are evil fortunes, the righteous, but the Lord deliver them out of them all. He keepeth all his bones, not one of them is broken. Evil shall slay the wicked, they that hate the righteous shall be condemned. The Lord shall free the soul of his servants, and they that take refuge in him shall be condemned. Hallelujah! Psalm 91, Psalm 91. The shelter of the Most High abides in the shadow of the Almighty. I sought the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. He shall deliver thee from the snare and the fowler, from the noise of pestilence. He shall cover thee with his pinions, and in his wings shalt thou take refuge. His feet shall be a shield and a buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid of terror by night, nor the arrow that flies by day, of the pestilence that walk in the darkness, nor the plague that ravage at noonday. 1,000 may fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand. It shall not come near unto thee. Only with the eyes of the God, and see the retribution of the wicked. But thou, Lord, art my refuge. Thou hast made the Most High thy dwelling place. There shall no evil befall thee. These and discouraged come out thy tent. He shall give his angels charge over you to guard thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee upon their hands. They shall strike thy foot against a stone. They shall tread upon the lion and the adder. Upon the lion and serpent shalt thou trample. Because he says love upon me, therefore I deliver him. I will set him on high because he knows my name. When he calls upon me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. Whenever days and I satisfy him. Maker heaven and earth, he will not suffer thy foot to slip. He that God, he will not slumber. Behold, he that God Yisrael, he will slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy guardian. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall guard thee from all evil. He shall guard thy soul. The Lord shall guard thy going out and not coming in. From this time forth and forevermore. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Psalm 124. If I not been your always on our side, and Yisrael now say, if I not been your always on our side, when men rose up against us, and they started up alive when their rivals kindled against us, then the waters have warmed us, the streams have gone over our soul, and the proud waters have gone over our soul. Blessed be the Lord, as knocking us in the plate to their deep. Our soul escaped as a bird out of the snare of the foulness. The snare is broken, and we all escape. Our help is the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth. Our help is the name of Jehovah, who made heaven and earth. Our help is the name of Jehovah, who made heaven and earth. Our help is the name of Jehovah, who made heaven and earth. Hallelujah! 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 Psalm 136. Psalm 136. Repeat after me. Kile olam chasto. הודו לאל האלוהים כי לעולם חסדו, הודו לאדוני האדונים כי לעולם חסדו, לא עושה נפלאות בגדולות למטו כי לעולם חסדו, לא עושה השמיים בתבונה כי לעולם חסדו, ולא כוח הארץ על המים כי לעולם חסדו, לא עושה אורים גדולים כי לעולם חסדו, את השמש בממשלת ביום כי לעולם חסדו, אל הירח וכוכבים בממשלות בלילה כי לעולם חסדו, למערכי מצרים בבקוריהם כי לעולם חסדו, ויעשה ישראל מתוקם כי לעולם חסדו, ביד הזקה וזילו ינתיה כי לעולם חסדו, לגוזל ים סוף לגזרים כי לעולם חסדו, ויבנה ישראל בתוקו כי לעולם חסדו, ולעיר פרעה וחילו בים סוף כי לעולם חסדו, למוליק עמו במדבר כי לעולם חסדו, למכה מלכים גדולים כי לעולם חסדו, ויהרוג מלכים הגדולים כי לעולם חסדו, לסיהון מלך האמורי כי לעולם חסדו, ולאוג מלך הבשן כי לעולם חסדו, ונתן עצם לנחלה כי לעולם חסדו, נחלה לישראל לעבדו כי לעולם חסדו, שתתנו נזכר לנו כי לעולם חסדו, וקראנו משרנו כי לעולם חסדו, נותן לכם נקר בשר כי לעולם חסדו, הודו לאל השמיים כי לעולם חסדו. הנה למזמר פילו חודון, הנה לשבק את בורי, לשם יהיו קדושה ברכו. ושכיתי על ידי החוטה מעולרם בשם קהל ישראל. ברוך שמו וחיי העולם. ברוך הוא, ברוך אומר ועושה, ברוך עוזר ומקריים, ברוך עושה בראשית, ברוך מנחם על הארץ, ברוך מנחם על הבריות, ברוך מי שנמזגה טוב לרעב, ברוך חי עד כל יום לנצח, ברוך פודה ומציר, ברוך שמו, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, האל, אב, הרחמן, המחולל בפי עמו, משובח ומבואר ולעשות, חסדיו ואהבתיו, ושרי באו לעבדך, לגלה אדוני אלוהינו, בשבחו ובזמרות, בדלכה, ולפקדך, בפאריקה, ונמליקה, ונזכיר שמך, מה קרנו אלוהינו, יחיד חי עולמים ולמשובח, ובביאריה שמו הגדול, ובאור עליית שמו הגדול, ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך מחולל ותשבחות, הללויה, הללויה. Psalm 145. Psalm 145. Hayafa, Hayafa, Hayafa Elohim. Hayafa Elohim. Hayafa Elohim. Hayafa, Hayafa, Hayafa Elohim. I will extol thee, my God, O King. I'll bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless thee. I'll praise thy name forever and ever. Right is the Lord, and exceedingly be praised. His greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall know thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts, and the majestic glory of thy splendor. All thy marvelous deeds will I meditate, and in men shall speak of the mighty and awful acts. I will recount thy greatness. They shall pour forth the fame of thy great goodness, and shall exalt in thy righteousness. The Lord is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great love and kindness. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. All thy works shall give thanks unto thee, O Lord, and all other ones shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom, and talk of thy power, to make known the strength of men his mighty acts, and the majestic glory of his kingdom. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endures throughout all generations. The Lord uphold all that fall, and raise up all them that are bowed down. The eyes of the Lord upon thee, and thou givest their food in due season. Thou opens thy hand, and satisfies every living thing with favor. The Lord is righteous in all his ways, and loving in all his works. The Lord is nigh unto all of them that call upon him. To all that call upon him with truth, he will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He will also hear their cry and save them. The Lord guards all of them that love him, but the wicked will he destroy. My mouth shall praise the name of Jehovah. Let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. We will bless Jehovah from this time forth and forevermore. Hallelujah! 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 Psalm 147. Psalm 147. No, 148. 148. Hallelujah! Praise Lord from the heavens. Praise him in the heights. Praise him all his angels. Praise him all his hosts. Praise him sun and moon. Praise him all you stars of light. Praise him you heavens and heavens. And you waters that are above the heavens. Let them praise the name of Jehovah. For he commanded and they are created. He has established them forever and ever. He gave me the decree that no shall transgress. Praise Lord from the earth. You sea monsters and all deeps. Fire and hail. Snow and smoke. Stormy wind fulfilling his words, mountains and all hills, fruit trees and all cedars, wild beasts and all cattle, creeping things and winged birds, kings of the earth and all people, princes and all judges of the earth, both young men and maidens, old men and children. Let them praise the name of Jehovah, his name alone is exalted, his majesty is above the earth and the heaven. He lifted up all for his people to praise of all his saints, even the children of Israel, a people known unto him. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Psalm 150. Psalm 150. Hallelujah! Praise God in his sanctuary. Praise him in the firmament of his power. Praise him for his mighty acts. Praise him according to his abundant greatness. Praise him with the blast of the horn. Praise him with the harp and lyre. Praise him with the timbrel and dance. Praise him with the string instruments and the pipe. Praise him with the clarion cymbals. Praise him with the loud sounding cymbals. Let everything that have breath praise Jehovah. Hallelujah. Let everything that have breath praise Jehovah. Hallelujah. Blessed be Jehovah forevermore. Amen. Amen. Blessed be the Lord as the Lord who dwells in Jerusalem. Hallelujah. Blessed be the Lord God, the God of Israel, who alone does wondrous things. And blessed be his glorious name forever. Let the whole world be filled with his glory. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. And assemble the 10,000 of our people, the house of Israel, thy name, O our King, shall be glorified and sought throughout every generation. For such do the four creatures before thee, O Lord our God, and God of our fathers, to give thanks unto thee, to praise, Lord, glorify, exalt, adore, declare illustrious, bless, magnify, and acclaim thee, with all the words of song, and praises thou we, the son of Yeshua, thou knowest the servant, and therefore let thy name be praised forever, O our King, the great and holy God and King, in heaven and earth. For to thee, O Lord, our God and God of our fathers, song and praise are becoming. Hymn and song, feasting with greatness and might, renown and glory, holiness and sovereignty, blessing and thanksgiving to thy great and holy name, from eternity to eternity, thou art God. Blessed art thou, O great God and King, extolling praises, God of thanksgiving, Lord of wonders, creator of all souls, master of all creatures, who maketh choice in psalm to psalm, only King of God, the life of all worlds. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Deuteronomy 6. Kiriyah Shema, Deuteronomy 6. We give honor to your great name, our great God and King. We will extol you every power in our body, God Messiah. Every breath in our mouths, we give praise unto you, our great God and King. All honor and praise unto you, to the living God, everlasting King. Hallelujah! Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Barishim kavod malkuto le'olam va'ed. V'ahavta Adonai Elohecha b'kol levavecha u'b'kol nafshecha u'b'kol yadecha. V'yuhadevli ma'ele asher noki misacha hayom adamavecha. V'shanam lebanecha v'dabarta bam v'shitika v'veitika v'veitika v'derek v'shavika u'kwomecha u'kashatam le'od al yadecha. V'nifeta fo'minecha u'ktatim ha'mezuzah b'techa v'yishaveka. Hear, O Yisrael, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Blessed be his name, his God, his kingdom is forever and ever. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. And his words, as I command you this day, shall be upon thy heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. And thou shalt trample over thy sins in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them with a sign upon thine hand, and there shall be formulas between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thy house and upon thy gates. Numbers 15, 37. I'll come from the gate from the door time will not know I CT. I cannot pretend to kill it. What is it for you not come to CC? Or I eat them or to use a card them. And call me to other now I see them all time. When I told I could revive him, I could near him. I say at times when he might him. The man this could do I see them and call me so tired. What them connection to Elohim. I need Adonai Elohim. I should Jose D. Ekem, the edifice fine. The Elohim the Elohim. I need Adonai Elohim and make. And many I see when I call the Kwayama Yashar, Nehemana Huba, Avi, and Nehmama, like even I did. Tukwanum Kuba, Retova Yafe, Hanavar Haze, Elena Yalamael, and then Elohai, Ola Makenu, Wasoya Ko, Magen Yoshienu, Ladora Do, Hukwaya, Ushamo Kwayam, Ukusuna Ko, Umakuto Munatola Akwayamet, Udara Kayim, Kwayam, Mekadim, Lana Lamela Olamin, Arabateno Alenu, Albaneno Al Doroteno, Al Ko Dora Yisrael Albaka, true and firm, established and enduring. Right and faithful, beloved and precious, desirable and blessed, awful and mighty, set and acceptable, good and beautiful, as he's going to do us forever and ever. Our children, our generation, for all generations, the seed of Yisrael as servants. Baruch Shem Kevod Malkuto Leolam. Oh my God, guard my tongue from evil, and my lips will speak in God. such as to curse me, let my soul be silent. Yet let my soul be as all the dust. Open down my heart to thy Lord, let my soul pursue thy commandments. And then he rise up against me, or devise evil against me. Speedily make their counsel of none effect or frustrate their design. May it please the Lord my God and God of my fathers, not to cause the ill feeling of any man against me, and not to cause me to have any ill feeling against others, that I am not provoked to anger. I don't provoke thee to anger. Thou saving me evil inclination. Thou give me a feeling of modesty and humbleness. O our King and our God, confer thy name upon thy wall. Rebuild thy city, establish thine house, decorate thy temple, gather the banished from exile, redeem thy sheep, cause thy assemblies to rejoice. Do it thou for the sake of thy name. Do it for the sake of thy right hand. Do it for the sake of thy Torah. Do it for the sake of thy holiness, that thy beloved was able to deliver. Oh, save with thy right hand and answer me. Let the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be acceptable before thee. O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. He will make a peace in his high places. May he make peace for us and for Israel. And say ye amen. May it be thy will, O Lord, our God and God of our fathers. Take we speedily burn our days, we got our portion in our Lord. Then we restore thee with all as in days of old and as in ancient years. Then shall the orphan of Yehuda and Jerusalem be present unto the Lord, as in days of old, as in ancient years. Magnified and sanctified be his great name, and the word created according to his will. May he establish his kingdom and cause deliverance to spring forth, and bring nigh his anointed in your lifetime and in your days, the lifetime of all the house of Israel. Speedy and near time and say ye amen. Let his great name be blessed forever to all eternity. Blessed, praised, and glorified, exalted, extolled, and honored, adored, and Lord be the name of the Holy One. Blessed be he, beyond all blessings and hymns, praise and song which out in this world, and say ye amen. Accept our prayer and mercy and the favor. May the praise and supplication of all Israel be sent by their Father who was in heaven, and say ye amen. Let the name of Jehovah be blessed in this time forth and forevermore. May there be abundant peace in heaven, and a happy life for us and for all Israel, and say ye amen. My help is from Jehovah, who made heaven and earth. He making peace in his high places. He made peace for us and for all Israel, and say ye amen. It is a good thing to give thanks to Jehovah and sing praise thy name, O Most High, to declare thy love and kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night, with an instrument of attention with the harp, with thoughtful music upon the lyre. But thou, Lord, have made me rejoice through thy works. O Lord, thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth it not. Neither know if you understand this. When the wicked spring up as grass, or all the works of iniquity flourish, it was they might be destroyed forever. But thou, Jehovah, Adonai, forevermore. For Lord, thy enemies, O Lord, for Lord, the enemies shall perish. All the works of iniquity shall be scattered. On my horn is thou exalted like that of the wild ox. I'm anointed with fresh oil. My eye also see my desire of my enemies. My ears have heard my desire of those that beget me. Doers of evil, the righteous shall spring up like a palm tree. He shall go tall like a cedar of the Lord. Praise in the house of Jehovah. They shall blossom in the court of our God. They shall still shoot forth in old age. They shall be full of sap and green. To declare Jehovah is upright. He is my rock. There's no righteousness in him. Hallelujah. All honor and praise unto our God and our King, our strength and our confidence, who put in our minds and our hearts together and give you all honor and praise, our great God and King. Before we ask for anything, Father God, we will express your majesty, the majestic power that you place upon the earth, our great God and King. We know that you are King, and so King alone, our great God and King. We bow our head for you and pay homage to you, our great God and King. Father God, we thank you for the life that you have given us on this day. We thank you, Father God, for allowing our blood to flow, our great God and King. We thank you, Father God, for allowing our heart to beat, allow us to use our legs, allow us to blink and think, our great God and King. We thank you, Father God, for the food you have given us, our great God and King. We thank you, Father God, for the clothing you have given us, our great God and King. We thank you, Father God, for protecting our men, our great God and King. We thank you, Father God, for protecting our women, that they haven't been raped or kidnapped or abused or molested, our great God and King. We thank you, Father God, for being protecting our children, our great God and King. We thank you, God Messiah, for considering us. At times we don't consider you, our great God and King. We thank you, the honor for us to accurately describe your greatness, or accurately describe the impact that you have in our lives, our great God and King. For we know you are the source of all strength. In your hand is might and power. In your hand is to make those great and small, our great God and King. We thank you for shielding us in our respective travels, our great God and King. We thank you for all the things that you have done for us, our great God and King. We ever pray that you will find our prayers acceptable, our great God and King. שאו שרים ראשיכם, ושאו פתקי עולם, ויבוא, 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 מלך הכבוד. שאו שרים ראשיכם, ושאו פתקי עולם, ויבוא, 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 מלך הכבוד. שאו שרים ראשיכם, ושאו פתקי עולם, ויבוא, 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 מלך הכבוד. שרים ראשיכם, ושאו פתקי עולם, ויבוא, 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 מלך הכבוד. Hallelujah! Give praise to this great God and King. This is the God that gave you life and strength and hope, protecting your loved ones. We owe him our lives. This is the God who keeps his word with men that are dead. He keeps his word with men that are dead. We will praise this great God and King. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Giving all honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Hallelujah! Giving all honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Yitzchak, where y'all go. Oh great King, we come before you humbly, asking for your love, kindness, and your forgiveness, oh great King. Who is like unto you? The God of Abraham. There is none, oh great King. We are thankful for all the blessings that you give us, O Most High. We are thankful for allowing us to walk these streets safe, O Most High. We are thankful for allowing our kids to walk these streets safe, O Most High. Blessings and honor upon your high holy name, O great King. I pray that you be with my father, Hanasi, Prince of Paul, Bavakashah, heal, and protect him, O Most High. Give him long life, O Most High. I pray that you be with all the sick of Israel, O Most High. I pray that you will sustain, O Most High. Sustain, Ima Sarah. Give her long life, O Most High. I pray that you be with all our Imas in this world, O Most High. O great King, you are King of the universe. And we come before you humbly, O Most High. And we are thankful for all the things that you do for us. I pray that you heal our people, O Most High. Heal us from vanity. Heal us from covetousness, O Most High. Heal us from hating one another, O great King. O Most High, allow us to walk together under one accord, O great King. You are God and God alone. All things are through you, O Most High. And we bow our heads to you, O great King. Hallelujah. If it had not been for the Lord who's on our side, now may Israel say, if it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, when men rose up against us, then they swallowed us quick when they ran up and committed against us. And the waters overwhelmed us, and the streams overwhelmed us our soul, and the blood was like going over our soul. Blessed be Yah, who have delivered us great to their teeth. Our souls escaped by the burden and snare of the fowls. The snare is broken and we are escaped. I offer in the name of Jehovah, who made heaven and earth. Hallelujah. Praise God, praise God, praise God, praise God, praise God. Yisrael,
Ulivneka Yahuwah Yisrael Zilagrano 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 Yahuwah Yisrael Torah Yisrael Neka Yahuwah Yisrael Yisrael Zilagrano 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 Noggin Noggin go cover Noggin hold on Suvaya Suvaya Meleka Olam 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 Meleka Olam Todaya Todaya Meleka Olam 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 Meleka Olam Noggin woo I hear you Noggin Hallelujah Hallelujah Melek Haolam Haolam Meleka Olam Shuvaya Shuvaya Melek Haolam 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 Meleka Olam Nage, come on, Bob. Take it out. Rock your whole Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Hold on. Baruch Hashem, Yahuwah. Baruch Hashem. This one today about Baruch Hashem, Yahuwah. Baruch Hashem, Yahuwah. What that mean? Blessed be the name of our God. Blessed be the name of our God. Blessed be the name of our God. Blessed be the name. Hey, uno teileke, umayom God. Uno teileke, umayom God. Uno teileke, umay. no taint like him. Oh my God. What that mean? Hey, he gives us bread and our water too. We talking about, yeah, he gives us bread and our water too. He gives us bread. Hey, our water too. He gives us bread. He gives us bread and our water too. Yeah, Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah. Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah, yeah, to be the name of our God. Blessed be the name of our God. Blessed be the name. Our God, blessed be the name of our. Hey, brothers, we about to go get some water. Come on. Hey, car. Not game. Shania, my here. Shalom, Shah. Arba. Hey. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. First of all, we give all honor and all praise and all glory to the King of the universe. The power of our forefathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and to the power of Jacob, the great, mighty, and revered one, the Most High, maker, owner, and possessor of all things and everything. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Shavu Bavakusha. You can turn that mic up a little bit. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Secondly, giving due respect to my father, Hanasi Sapor Ben Zavolum, asking that the Creator continue to be with him, to bless him, guide, shield, and protect him, and strengthen him. Giving due respect to the dignitaries who are here today, princes, chiefmen, minister. I bid you all in the tongue of our ancient forefathers, Shabbat Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's what it's about. Y'all felt that? That's what I'm talking about. It's the Shabbat. We come here to give glory to our King. You know what I mean? The vibe's supposed to be right. You know what I mean? We family. The vibe's supposed to be right. I mean, we supposed to look forward to it. This is something that we have, this is an environment we got to create. An environment that we have to create to look forward to. Because you got to put it in your mind first and convince yourself that this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And once you do that, and you come in contact with your A-alikes, because y'all be alike and see alike. That's the way it's supposed to be. We got to learn how to love God, man. Once we learn how to love God, everything else is easy. Because when you learn how to love God, that's why I say the beginning of wisdom is the fear of what? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Why? Because then you start to get some understanding. Because the only way you can show God that you love him is if you love his people. Because that's what the purpose of the commandment was for. That's what the earth was created for. Right or wrong? He said when I created the earth, he had who in mind? Israel. He said I had Israel in mind when I created the earth.
So therefore, this whole thing is about you. So how could you hate your brother and sister? You ain't supposed to. The commandments is geared towards us and our upliftment. This whole book is geared towards us. We reading about our liberation. That's what this week's portion is about. It's about how the Creator chose the big guy on the block to make an example of so that his children could be all right. It ain't no game when he said, I gave kings for you and nations for you. Meaning the glorious nations of the earth were shut down all because of you. How much more you now in this position that you in right now? Yo, Egypt was the superpower of the ancient world. Egypt had everything. They had a dude by the name of, which one we could go with? We can go with a bunch of different, Imhotep, who was the founder, even as far as medicine is concerned, by listening to the body and the sounds that it make to come up with a diagnosis. First person do that. Huh? Yeah, Hamite. First people to do that. Ham had it on lock. Because when we don't read the book of Genesis and go through the book of Bereshit or the book of Genesis for nothing. The book of Genesis actually is giving us play by play to bring us up to speed the way it is right now. Right. And when you look in the book of Genesis, you realize the Hamites had it on lock from the beginning. That's right. Even back in the time of Nimrod. Right. He ran the city. That's right. It was under his rule. That's right. God said, I don't like this one bit. I like that. We gonna keep running. We're gonna run that in the ground. Because you can say that about a lot of things. They said, I don't like this one bit. Not one bit. No. I don't like how they flexing down there. You know? And he separated the nations in language. But according to their people and language, it's obvious that it was according to their people and language. Why? Because this group of people went that way. This group of people went that way. My son came to me last night. We was talking. We sitting at the table talking and eating. And he said to me, but yeah, man, I'm learning about the rivers. I said, oh yeah, what's the name of the land between the rivers? Zuriel a funny dude, man. Zuriel a funny dude, man. Yeah, man. And so we were sitting down talking. And he's bringing up the fact that, he's talking about the little ziggurats and all that kind of stuff. I said, the ziggurats was the first pyramids. Because when you look at the first pyramid that existed, I think the first pyramid is in what, Dozah? Yeah, in Egypt. That's the first, it's a step pyramid. It mirrors the ziggurats of Mesopotamia in Sumer. But guess what? The Mayan pyramids resemble the ziggurats in Sumer and Mesopotamia. Why? Because there was a people called the Olmecs that were originally of Hamitic descent that actually crossed the straits before continental drift. And the world was one at one time. That's why we all have the same history. Whether you go into the Egyptian Book of the Dead or the Book of the Coming Forth by Day and by Night, that's what they call it. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Epic of Gilgamesh, all of those books contain the same creation story. Why? Because it's world history. It's world history. Everybody bear witness to it. It's world history. But we see that, and I want to get back to us as a people, that the earth revolves around you. As an Israelite, have some pride in yourself. The earth revolves around you. You are that guy. You are that person. You understand? You are that brother. You are that sister. This whole thing is about you. It ain't about being big-headed. God made you big-headed. God told you, I'm going to make you great. Just don't wax fat and kick. You're supposed to be great. We were created to be great. We were created to be in awe so that people see us in our splendor and say, wow. Don't nobody act crazier than us with money. You give us some money, everybody want to do what we do. Man, you don't see, I seen a guy with a gold-plated PS4 controller. Yo, you would see the foolishness that we used to do when they had that MTV Cribs out. You see our foolishness. When they had MTV Cribs out, you see the foolishness we get into it. People be like, damn, go on, man. Them Negroes think about everything, man. Huh? What'd you say? Yeah, Chappelle, man. Chappelle did a show skit where he said if they gave black people reparations, what they would do. And he had one guy driving a Newport's truck. He said, I got all the Newports I need. But we would do it. Said, fool, and his money is soon separated, man. Because we them type of people, man. We are so inspiring. People get a kick out of us, man. In our foolishness, man, we the most comedic people on the planet Earth, man. Yeah, man. We them people. Funny thing is, man, you ever seen Django Unchained? And it's funny that a white guy actually put this movie together, but we're so predictable and people could see so much of us and it was just so obvious. You know what I'm saying? So Django, as soon as he get free, he don't want to dress regular. He want to dress like a leprechaun. You know what I'm saying? So he come up, shoes curled all up in the front, and the slave lady that asked him, she said, you free? He said, yeah, I'm free. He said, did your master make you dress like that? He was like, no, I decided to dress like this on my own because we extra. We extra. We get a little bit of money, we lose our minds, man. You see them pimps, man, feather come all the way back here, man. Hat on over here, feather all the way back there. Because we different as a people, man. We different. Let's get into this chapter a little bit. I want to go into the book of Exodus, chapter 6, verse 2. This is important. And you know what? Current events is crazy, too, because you see things repeating itself. God is making a way to snatch his children from out of this land. God is making a way. Now, and I'll tell you this. You be wise to pray for the salvation of this country that you living in. You will be wise to pray for the salvation of the country that you living in so that the calamity don't come here and God purge the evil in a merciful way. You understand? Pray for where you live at. Better. Your kids got to go to school every morning. I hope this place dies and destroys. Nah, but your kids got to go to school every day. Kids get on the train, burn them up, burn them up. Your kids is getting burnt up. That's why you pray. You pray for this place. I pray that the president make wiser decisions. You understand what I'm saying? That don't make you no slave. That make you smart. Shoot. That's a fact. You know, the slightest things start wars. World wars. World War I was started, and I was thinking last night, and because the name Ferdinand kept on coming in my head, Ferdinand, and World War I was started by the assassination of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo by an organization called the Black Hand. Now, the United States didn't get involved in it until there was the sinking of a French commercial ship called the Lusitania, if I'm not mistaken. Right? And the funny thing, because World War I started, the murder of the Archduke in Sarajevo was in, I think, could somebody look it up? I think it was 1914. if I'm not mistaken. And this actually started countries at odds with each other. And the United States was sitting back as a spectator, right? And the United States was sitting back as a spectator because they wasn't involved. They didn't have no wins or no losses or anything to gain. Right, 1914, right? 1914. Yeah, so I was right. Okay, 1914, the Archduke, Franz Ferdinand, right? And so United States ain't have no claims and no input or nothing in it. They said we just gonna sit in the sidelines and just watch everything that takes place. And until there was this commercial French ship with American passengers on it named the Lusitania. And it was sunk because of that war. And then the United States got involved in it. And every country, civilized country, quote unquote, civilized country, that they would consider a civilized country, this omits the third world countries that they would mention, got involved. And everybody was shooting at everybody because everybody had a stake in it. History has a way of repeating itself. You know, history has a way of repeating itself, and you see with assassinations of certain leaders, it'll throw us back into the same situation again. You know, I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but you can just sit back and watch and see how this whole thing is going to go down, you know. But what we have to understand is that we don't have a stake in any of it. The only stake we have in it is our safety. You know what I mean? We don't want that stuff hitting our trains. And listen, because you know what? The funny thing is that when these things happen, they target working people. Working people that don't own nothing. The same slaves that don't own anything. You know what I mean? That's why when you look at it, our salvation, it comes from the creator of heaven and earth, man. God is going to make a way to deliver his children from this captivity, man. This is Egypt number 2, but this is Egypt with a different spin on it. This is an Egypt that you think you free, but you're not free. This is an Egypt that will keep you consumed in bars by television, by technology. Technology marginalizes us. Technology destroys our body and our mind. And we think it's all good. When we was little, I knew about 5 or 6, 7, 8, almost 10 numbers. Had to remember them. I still even remember certain numbers. I remember my aunt's number was 718. It was like a rhythm you had to it. I remember my grandmother's number was 201, bip, 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 bip. I remember this one number, that's before we had the 347s. Because we ain't had 347s. You know what I mean? You had them 1212s if you was in Harlem or Manhattan, and you had them 718s if you was in Queens, the Bronx, or Brooklyn. Right? And then you had the 516s that was in LI. So you knew what it was. But we knew these numbers. And it was easy for us to know them numbers. Nowadays, you out of luck if your cell phone break down on you. You like, damn, I don't remember nobody's number. You stuck. A lot of us don't even know our wife or our husband number by heart. You like, damn, what's his number again? Siri. Siri ain't there. Phone done. You know what I'm saying? Technology marginalizes us. And this is the captivity that we in. These kids don't know anything. Listen, let me tell you, for you to be a scholar back then, you had to put some legwork in. Now you just Google everything. Like, oh, what's the name of such and such? Google. Yo, it was harder to go to the library. You didn't have the computers in the library. You go to the library, you pull out the drawer, get the card for the reference book. The reference book, it give you a number of different reference books. Before you know it, you done went through 4 or 5 reference books, learning. before you get to the actual book that you need to get to. It got so bad in academia with the internet that they don't even accept certain things without references. Academics say, nah, you just can't Google this paper, bro. I want to know the article you read this in, the date. I need all of these references. It's not going down like that. But this is the kind of captivity that actually marginalizes us. Not only that, but with the television. Listen, let me tell you something. I got a confession, man. I have an addiction, man. Yeah, my addiction is TV, man. It's an addiction, man. Well, you could binge watch a show. You could binge watch a show. Shit, you be locked in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Next episode, as it's circling, you press the button. I ain't even got time for them circles. Skip the intro. Skip the intro. You know what I mean? Word. Skip the playback. You know, the playback. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the playback where they bring you up to speed. I know what it is. I just finished watching it. I don't need that. Skip all that. Let's get to the meat and the potatoes. And you locked in like this. Huh? An hour apiece. For you know it, you done gave 5 hours to the TV like this and ain't moved. That's bad. Because what it does is it keeps us complacent and not doing things that we need done. As far as our education is concerned, as far as movement of the nation is concerned, all of these things. TV, bad motorcycle, man. TV is a bad motorcycle. Wow. Yeah, TV, how you locked in. Let's go to Exodus 6, verse 2.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We in the book of Exodus, chapter 6, verse 2. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I don't need it right now, but just hold it on.
And the Most High spoke unto Moshe and said unto him, I am the Most High. I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob. Almighty. But my name I have made me not known to them. And I've also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan.
Right. So what it says is, in this chapter, it says, and the Creator spoke to Moses and said unto him. Now, when the Creator speaks to Moses, he speaks to him a little different than he speaks to everybody else. He already told us that. He speaks to Moshe different than how he speaks to everybody else. And then he said, there's no prophet. And we're going to learn later on that there was no prophet like his servant Moses. He said, Moses got the key to all my houses. You understand? Moses is in. He got the key to the whole house. Moses, he said he speak to face. He have a conversation with Moses. Where other prophets, they have out-of-body experiences. You know how Ezekiel rock. He pulled Ezekiel up out of his body. You know what I mean? Take him somewhere different. Send him down. It was a spiritual thing. Moses could be standing in front of you talking to God. You know what I'm saying? To the point that he was used to it, and the people was like, listen, Moses, you go talk to God. We believe you. We believe you. We don't want no smoke. Listen, you go talk to God for us. But the funny thing is, he said, and God spoke unto Moses and said unto him, I am the Lord, right? It translates as Yod Hey Wav Hey. But before this chapter, there was never a reference in the language literally as Yod Hey Wav Hey. Because that name wasn't known. Moshe knew it. Nobody else knew this name. Nobody prior to Moshe knew this name. He says, and God spoke unto Moses and said unto him, I am the Lord. And I appeared unto Abraham and Isaac and unto Jacob as El Shaddai, God Almighty. But by my name, it says Yod Hey Wav Hey, I made me not known to them. So even Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob didn't know to the divine name. They had a certain relationship that they only got a certain amount, but not to take away from them. Because the Creator said, I shall be known as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not to belittle our forefathers, because their names is part of God's name. He said, I will be known as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's what he said. No, he didn't say JJ. He didn't say JJ. He said, I will be known. He said, that's my name. He said, that's my testimony. That's my name. I will be known, throughout all generations as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But this is why we don't play with the Yod Hey Wav Hey. This is why that name is not to be brought up in common speech. This is why that name should not be on articles of clothing. That name is to be reverenced. You understand? You got the Yod Hey Wav Hey on your shirt, and you got dirty tantalin or dirty underwear, and you throw them in the wash with that, with the name of God. That's no respect. If baby could say, put some respect on my name, how much more God? Say, yo, hey, you don't put that name on something that you're going to put in the wash. And if you do have that name on something, then guess what? You separate that from anything else that you think about doing. Yeah. You got unclean underwear in the wash with the name of God. That's why we got to take note of certain things. That's why I'm not one that talk about, you don't bring your books with the name of God into the bathroom. A lot of people like to read on the toilet. So I get my best reading in on the toilet. No, don't bring the name of God into your bathroom. The Creator said make a separation between that which is clean and that which is unclean. Right or wrong? I can see if you ailing and you calling on God. Listen, God, I need you to help me. Because sometimes it get like that. Sometimes it get like, you know. You be in the bathroom sometimes, you feel like you're going to pass the hell out. Woo! You understand what I'm saying? And you might need God to help you. So I'm not saying don't call on the Creator. But there's a certain way that you call on him. There was a divine name. You know, on Yom Kippur, the high priest would just come out with the name of God on him. That's how divine that name is. Right. This ain't something common that people walk around and just say the name of the Creator. You go with Yod Hey Wav. No, you don't go like that. Nah, you don't go. No. You don't have a way in which that becomes common. That's why even Jewish people, they refer to it as the tetragrammatic or the tetragram. They don't say it. They don't say it. They'll say Hashem, the name. They'll even say Adonai, the Lord. But they're not going to say that name. And we have to be very careful when we say that name. That name should only be invoked in prayer. It's not common. And be watchful where you pray with that name. Because it's not something to just, and that's why, you know, I know this, listen, when we was coming up, even when we was in school and I and stuff like that, listen, you never put your Tanakh on a chair. Don't let Gavera or Ra say you put your Tanakh on a chair. And I remember, and you know, and when you get older, you start to understand why. Because it's the word of God. That's what you put your behind. You understand? That's like you taking a Mad magazine, putting it over your Torah. How can you put a Mad magazine over your Torah? Or use your book as a coaster? Take a cup. There's certain things, there's certain ways and things that we do and how we do things that show respect for God too. You know what I'm saying? You're going to put a cup on top of your book. What's wrong with you? That's the word of the Creator. Don't put a plate on top of that. You don't put something that ain't just as big as this on top of it? Nah, you don't do that. You don't do that. That's why we got to reverence. There's a separation between the clean and the unclean. Even as far as closing your bathroom doors, man. Close your bathroom door. If you're going to pray, separate that bathroom from the rest of your house. Close the door. That's where you're going to relieve yourself. You know, the Creator said when you got to use the bathroom, and say what? Go outside the camp. Now, your bathroom door actually separates that from the rest of your house. Why would you leave it open to have one whole room? You understand? Don't you know when you use the bathroom, that's why it's not even good to have your toothbrush in the bathroom. Because when you use the bathroom and your toothbrush is not covered, when you flush the toilet, you get fecal matter in your toothbrush. Say you wonder why you brush things. You brush your teeth with doo-doo. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's read. Come on.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their sojournings,
right,
wherein they sojourned. And moreover, I have heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptian kept in bondage.
Right.
And I have remembered my covenant. Wherefore, saying to the children of Israel, I am the Most High God, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians,
right,
and I will deliver you from their bondage. And I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgment. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be your God. And you shall know that I am the Most High, your God, who brought you out from under the burdens of Egypt, of the Egyptians. And I will bring you into the land, covering which I have lifted up my hand to give to Abraham and to Yitzchak and to Yaakov, and I will give it to you for a heritage, for I am the Most High. Verse 9. And Moses spoke unto the children of Israel, but they hearkened not unto Moses.
Right, so all of this information was given to Moshe. So, you know, the funny thing is that the Creator, he let Moshe know what was going on. He didn't keep him in the dark about anything. He told him. You're going to read where he tell him, listen, I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart. I want you to know you're not going into this blind. God don't send us into situations blind. We know what time it is. He says, I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart. We're going to make an example. We lining this fool. God lined Pharaoh up. That's why when they say he gave kingdoms for us, it was a setup from the beginning. And he told them everything. He said, all this land that I promised your forefathers, that's going to come to you. But the Creator is there's humor in the way he works too. Because everything that he's doing is an opposition to Egyptian culture. Even when he told them, he said, go up in there and say that I will be that which I will be has sent you. Why is that? You understand? We translate it as I am that I am. God ain't never said I am that I am. I am that I am is fixed. You know, pop out of Sailor Man. I am that I am, that I am, that I am. Pop out of, you can't be nobody other than that. I am what I am. I will be that which I will be. That's different. That's no limit. I'm not putting myself in a box. I am that I am is corporal. I will be that which I will be is incorporeal, which means that you can't categorize it. You can't put a name to it. You can't subjugate it to anything. It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. But the funny thing about that is that the Egyptians had a saying that they used to say, Newt poot newt. I am that I am. That's what the Egyptians used to say. So he playing on their words. How we know the Egyptians used to say it? Well, there was an Egyptian queen named Hatshepsut who was a tranny queen. Yeah, tranny queen, yeah. She was a tranny. That's why you say people want to be Egyptians, man. Talking about black culture in Egypt. Egyptians ate pork, man. Like they was base, man. They had orgies. Their whole pantheon consists of orgies. Where do you think they get the mistletoe stuff from? That was something in Egypt. Hang a mistletoe over your wife and she belonged to them. Yeah, all that. They had all of these things going. You know what? They have Egyptian legend about a deity by the name of Hathor. Right? But Hathor, before she was a bull, she was a lion. But the lion, right now, follow me, walk with me on this one. And Sekhmet is the lion version of Hathor, same deity. So Sekhmet is the lion version of Hathor. So Hathor was destroying the earth, according to Egyptian mythology. She destroyed the earth with a flood. Message, right? All right, cool. They got their flood story too, right? So destroyed the earth with a flood, boom, 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 this, that, and the third. But I guess Ra, according to them, was like, listen, you're gone too far. So what they did was they got her drunk on beer and turned her out. And she became Hathor, which is a fertility goddess. Right? So to reverence Hathor, what they would do is they would have orgies and drink beer and get drunk and just do all kinds of atrocities. The Egyptians were off the chain. They had a savage sexual nature. You know what I mean? It was a savage sexual nature. So that's why, so back to Hatshepsut. So Hatshepsut actually was a tranny Egyptian. She was a woman, but she took on the throne of Pharaoh. She used to wear a fake beard, like she was a man. So if you look at Egyptian hieroglyphics, you'll realize that they denote female deities with bigger hips and smaller shoulders. Right? You'll notice in the case of Hathor, her shoulders, she's a pharaoh with slim shoulders and bigger hips. Right? Egyptians was known for, you said a goatee, right? It's a sister. But Egyptians was known for not only doing that, but for changing the course of history on their walls. They would erase history and put it to fit them. That's why it's so hard to find traces of Israel being in Egypt, because they referred to a certain period as the period of the great humiliation. Right? So, going forward, Hathor was not Sekhmet, but Hatshepsut was actually a tranny. Right? And she's the only woman that ascended to the throne and said, Nut, Put, Nut. I am that I am, Horus in the flesh. Because any pharaoh that ascended to the throne took on a representation of Horus in the flesh. Remember Horus, Osiris and Horus, and Isis, the Egyptian trinity? Right, so when a pharaoh came to the throne, actually they ascended to the throne as Horus in the flesh. So they would say, I am that I am, Horus in the flesh. So when the Creator sent Moses to Egypt, and they asked him, who sent you? He said, I will be that which I will be has sent me. Not I am that I am, because my God beat your God. What's up? You know? And through the course of this history, in this book, you're going to see that the Creator is toppling their deities through these plagues, one at a time. It started off as a verbal thing, but then it became a physical altercation. Come on, let's read.
Verse 9.
Right.
And Moshe spoke unto the children of Israel, but they hearkened not unto Moshe.
Right, because they slaves. Yo, the hardest thing is to free somebody that want to be a slave. That's why it's so hard for us to influence people to this way of life. Because certain people is just caught up in slavery. No, I'm American. Take that back to Africa, my man. That's what people will tell you. And listen, you go back to Africa. I like it here. I ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm an American. Yeah, what you say? You don't want to hear that, Sharif? Yeah, get off the 40, Sharif. Get your tropical behind off the 40, off the refrigerator, Sharif. Because they don't want to hear it. What they want to hear is what's going on now. That's a slave syndrome. It's a slave syndrome. There's this thing that I think it's in the dialogues of Plato. The dialogues of Plato, there's the analogy of the cave. And in the analogy of the cave, it's like the Matrix, right? The Matrix was actually a setup. It was based on Egyptian mythology and analogies that were robbed from them by the Greeks. If you ever get a chance, get a book called Stolen Legacy. It'll tell you about a lot of the things that the Greeks actually stole from the Egyptians, and that helped create the New Testament. But that's another story. So in this dialogue, in the dialogues of Plato, or the analogy of the cave, there are people. They're sitting in a row. There's a fire behind them. And all they see in front of them is their shadows. So their shadows become their reality. This is what they concentrate on every day. Why? Because they get up in the morning and they've grown into that reality because they know nothing else. See, when you grow into a reality, there's nothing else. It's like people who go to jail and become institutionalized, right? They come home, it's like, nah, what's this, Metro cards? Nah, man, they get anxiety. You know, FaceTime. Wait, was you a CO? No, because they used to being locked up. They hear bells, they automatically stand in line. You know what I mean? They used to being locked up. You ever seen somebody who just come home, how they eat? Yeah, they eat like this. You ever seen people who just come home, how they walk? A lot of them play the wall. Walk slow, play the wall. It's a look like, or everybody got the same walk. It's like, because with that, you walk what was behind you and everything. You play the wall. You don't want people too close up on you. Hey, bro, I need 2 feet. You're in my comfort zone. Why? Because you've been institutionalized. So there are certain things. Now, in this case, in Egypt, we have been institutionalized. Been institutionalized. We don't want to go nowhere but Egypt. You're going to see when we get out of Egypt, we're going to be like, dang, going. Only if we was in Egypt by the garlic pot. Huh? Because why? We became slaves mentally. We so used to it. We're scared of any kind of relying on ourselves, man. We're scared of any kind of autonomy. Autonomy, yeah. We're scared to produce what we've been producing for other people, and they've been taking the credit. Listen, we all work in jobs, and we make these people millions of dollars. And I'm not Pinocchio. Because in this room, there's a lot of untapped potential. You understand? If we were to take that same attitude and our know-how and work for ourselves, we could be great. Facts. We could be great. Because they don't know your job like how you know your job. You understand what I'm saying? Man, let me know. I'm like, there go on, man. I had to sit down one day and think about it. I said, there go on, man. I done sold over $300,000 worth of programs for these people in 6 months. If I did half of that at the same price, I could do it for myself. And I wouldn't even have to work all year. Nope. But we so caught up in a slave mentality that we need a boss. We need a boss. We need a boss. It's slavery, man. It's slavery syndrome, man. We suffer from a lot of syndromes, man. We suffer from a lot of syndromes, man. Shoot, I suffer from KS. That's Ray J. Keepa syndrome. My Keepa start off over here, man. But you know this back here. Keep Pop you on your shoulder before the lesson is over. Yeah, man. But for real, we got a lot going on, man, and we could do a lot. But we got to believe in ourselves, and this is an example of us not believing in ourselves. So let's go ahead.
But they hearken not unto Moshe for impatience of spirit and cruel bondage.
Right,
Verse 10.
right.
And the Most High spoke unto Moshe, saying, Go in, speak unto Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land.
Yeah.
And Moshe spoke before the Most High, saying, Behold, the children of Israel have not hearkened unto me. How then shall Pharaoh hear me? Who am I, of uncircumcised lips?
Right. So he's saying, listen, he said that my own people won't listen to me. How am I going to talk to Pharaoh? Pharaoh is like a person god to the people. You know what I'm saying? He run things. At this time, Egypt is in charge of every other country in the world. Right. This is not light. Huh? Yeah. Joseph played a big part in making a lot of nations subservient to Egypt. But even before then, Egypt was a superpower. There was a war, I guess, with the Egyptians and I think it was the Hittites, the Battle of Kadesh. And Egypt wasn't no joke. Egypt had chariots that turned like this. Nobody had that. You know what a chariot is that turn? Like you could go over there and you could just turn here and then turn here. You ever had one of them old shopping carts? Where you got to lift it up and turn it around and put it there? Or else you got to go a bunch of ways and turn it and make it go the way you want to make it go? That's how the first chariots was. But then you get that new shopping cart with the wheels that turn in the front. You understand what I'm saying? That's the one that you can turn like this. Boom, boom. That's how Egyptian chariots was. They could turn. They perfected the composite bow. You know what a composite bow is? That's a bow that is the same as the regular bow, but they perfected it to the point that it shoots twice as far. So when you went into battle, a lot of times they would stay at a bow's reach, bow's length away from each other. Those are stratagems that will go into battle. If you study any like war novels or anything like that, you'll realize that most, when they flank each other, they stay a bow's length away because their bows can't go that far. But the Egyptians had a different kind of bow they had the chopper, the old school chopper. You know what I mean? The 30-30, the 30-30 scope that can hit you from the top of the camp going into the train station on Utica in Eastern Parkway. Just before you go down, and nobody know who did it. The Egyptians' composite bow was so mean that when people would flank them in battle, they could shoot up their bows and everybody thought they was in the clear. So, of course, they ain't got their shields up. And all of a sudden, your whole front line is dead. Your whole front line is dead. That's how sharp they was. You know what I mean? They had landmines, too. They had a bunch of stuff. They had all kinds of freaky deaky tricks, man. They had gliders. Like gliders. Like these people was different, man. It's like, who's thinking about this? Magicians. They remember, they staffs turned to snakes too. They into that. There's a world that exists, a magic world. You understand that we not supposed to tap into, or else God wouldn't say leave it alone. If it don't exist, then never mind. But God say leave that stuff alone. It ain't gonna have no effect on you. Just do the law. But leave that stuff alone. There was a real witch of Endor who brought somebody back. You know what I mean? It was Shemuel. And guess what? He said, listen, bro, you gonna be here with me tomorrow. So that was a true to life prophecy. Something going on. They know something that we don't know. There's some things out there. That's why God said, don't consult with a familiar spirit. What you mean? A familiar spirit? Which means that don't make no spirits familiar to you. That's what it means. That don't mean you can consult with a distant spirit. I mean, don't make the spirit familiar to you. Don't be like, you ain't supposed to have no conversation with somebody that ain't here no more. You want the old dead things, what they call them things? The Ouija boards. And wonder why your life messed up. This is what we do, man. We like freaky deaky stuff, but that's what the Egyptians did. They was into that. They had magic. Yeah, sorcery. They told stuff. They dealt with bones and water. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, well, that's another topic. Let's go. Come on.
13.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High spoke unto Moshe and Aaron and gave them a charge unto the children of Israel.
Right.
And Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Right.
These are the heads of their fathers, house
Right.
of the son of Reuben, the firstborn.
So hold on. Before we get into this, I like this part of the chapter because it actually gives us a timeline and it gives us an understanding of how long we was in Egypt. Like we was in Egypt for Adim. We wasn't. We was in Egypt for maybe like 3 generations. 3 generations we was in Egypt, right? Because what happens is we know that Levi was a grown man when he went to Egypt. He was grown enough to have children. You understand what I'm saying? Because Joseph, his little brother, was a grown man. You understand? So when Levi came into Egypt, he was grown. He probably had Kohath with him. Right. So Levi have Kohath, Merari, and Gershom. Right. So those are 3 branches of Levi. Kohath, Merari, and Gershom. Now the Kohanim come out of the line of Kohath, but not out of the line of Moses. Now I don't care, so we know that Moshe, our teacher, may his memory be blessed, no high priest come from him. I don't care how close he may have been with the Creator, no high priest don't come from him. The high priest come from his brother, Aharon, right? Right, his older brother. So now you got Kohath, so Levi has Kohath, who has Amram, who has Aharon and Moshe. So you're talking about, and Miriam. So 2 probably came into Egypt on their own. The last 2 was born into Egypt. So we're talking about almost 2.5, 3 generations that they was in Egypt. Right? Almost 2.5 to 3 in generation. So a lot had transpired in that time. From the time that we had got there. That's why when I think it was Chief Yashar was teaching it, taught about the Middle Kingdom. The Middle Kingdom was ill because the Middle Kingdom was not run by actual Egyptians. The Middle Kingdom was run by Hyksos. They referred to them as shepherd kings. But they came into Egypt, and how we know this, and beyond the shadow of a doubt, nobody can go against the grain on this. How we know that the Hyksos were in Egypt during the time of the Israelites being there is because if they came if the Israelites came in during the 12th to the 14th dynasty, right? That was the Middle Kingdom. That's during the time of the Hyksos. They had to have come in at that time because the timeline that we have on Akhenaten makes him a contemporary of Saul. Right? How do we know Akhenaten was a contemporary of Saul? Akhenaten had a son named, who was Akhenaten's son? Tutankhamun. That was his real name. His name wasn't Tutankhamun. They changed it on the hieroglyphs because Akhenaten was actually a monotheist. So he named his son Tutankhamun, which is attributed to his one deity. But they later changed his name to Tutankhamun. That's another story. But Akhenaten was a monotheistic pharaoh. When you talk to Egyptologists, they'll tell you that Moses was in Egypt during the 18th dynasty, and he got the whole monotheism from Egyptians. But that's that's not right. How we know that's not the truth is because Akhenaten transferred the capital of Egypt from Thebes to a place called Tel El Amarna. Tel El Amarna is where he dwelled, and that's where you get the Amarna tablets. The Amarna tablets have a letter from Akhenaten to King Saul. So how could he be writing King Saul a letter if he's not his contemporary? So that means by the time the 18th dynasty came into play, Israel was in Israel already. That's right. Saul was the king, and David was on the come up. Dig what I'm saying? In this letter, in the Amarna tablets, there's an Amarna tablet that actually says that was written to Ishbosheth. It refers to him as Ishbal, right? Ishbal. Now, this is a letter from Ishbal to Pharaoh. He says, please help me. I need help. David killed Abner. Who is Abner? Abner was his shooter. Abner was the dude that made a way for him to be the king of Israel. If it wasn't for Abner, because Abner was the gunman. If it wasn't for Abner, they'd have took all that a long time ago. Because if you remember our history, you'll see that, remember, there was a standoff by the pool, by the waters. And Joab, the house of David, was going up against Abner, the house of Saul. And they looked at each other and said, let the young men play. That's right. That's the day, I think, Asael got killed. Right? So we going backwards to go forward. So when they said, let the young men play, the servants of David grabbed the servants of Saul by their head. And the servants of Saul grabbed the servants of David by their hair. And they stuck their weapons into each other. And both died at the same time. It was a bad game of chicken to see who young men was going to flinch and say, no, I'm not going out there. And it seemed that David's men got the best of Abner's men. So what happens is Abner, just to bring you up to speed on the Amarna tablets, Abner had smoke with Ishbosheth after the death of Saul over a girl named Rizpah. We're not going to get into why they called the girl Rizpah. The book is funny, though. Because the book is funny, because the book give you names and nicknames of people. The girl named probably, who named their daughter Rizpah? It's the floor. What, she stay on the floor? That's the type of girl she was. You understand what I'm saying? So what happened was, Ishbosheth wanted Rizpah. It's like, nah, that's me. Abner wanted Rizpah. So Abner took Rizpah. But what happens is they had some smoke over it. And Abner was like, you know what? I'm done with you. You gonna press me over a chick? I'm out. And he went and set up a meeting with who? David. So when he set up the meeting with David, Joab and Abishai were told that Abner came through there. But they got a blood war going on because Abner killed who? Asael. So when they see son, they're like, oh, all right, cool, we're going to snatch him up. Now, Joab was a bad dude, but Abishai was worse. Abishai was part of the three. The three that was no joke. Special forces. Joab was the head of the infantry, but he didn't make the three. But his brother, Abishai, did. He's a bad man. Right, the original dirty, the dirty three. Right, so he come through. They catch Abner slipping on his way out. It's like, yo, Bo Pope of Akushan. You know, everything cool? Kotov? You can see us talking like that. Kotov? I told, you know, it's peaceful. Shake his hand and they shank him. The same way they did Amasa. Joab was good for shaking your hand and putting a knife in you. Because he did that to his cousin. Amasa was his cousin. And he gutted him. He said, you stole my job? What's up, my slow car? Ain't that cool? Yeah. That's what he did. Is peace with you? Like, he's a dirty dude. Joab, that's what his mentality. I'm trying to paint a picture of who Joab was so you understand the Amanah tablet. So, and even when he told King David, he said, man, listen, man, you go out there, man, and show these people some love, man, because if you don't, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to take it. He used to talk to King David like that. Listen, you toughen up, man. People get shot every day, B. You be all right. You tough. Yeah, he said, that's why David told Solomon, he said, listen, when I leave here, kill Joab. He got to go, man, because he got an old foolishness that you ain't ready for, Pop. Me and him did some things together. People disappeared because of me and him. That was my go-to for foolishness. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is in the Amanah tablet, you'll read, it says, when Ishbosheth asked Pharaoh for help, Pharaoh's response is, where's Joab? There's a letter from Pharaoh. This is one of the only outside of the book support that shows the existence of David, Jesse, and Joab. It's in the Oxford Museum. They're called the Amanah tablets. I forgot what Amanah tablet it is, but I can give you that information. I'll provide it for the brothers and sisters that are online. But the Amanah tablet, the Pharaoh, he knew how gritty David and his team was. And at this time, David wasn't even king of Israel. So he says to him, he said, where David at? He said, all right, cool. You don't know where David at? He said, where's Jesse? And where's Joab? Surely Joab is in the field. This is what the Pharaoh is saying. Because from the point of view of Ishbosheth, all he knows is that David ordered the hit on Abner and that they're coming for him next. He didn't know that Joab and Abishai moved on it and it wasn't sanctioned. Because it wasn't sanctioned, because remember David said, y'all better follow behind the funeral and fake cry. He's like, listen, man. That's what he said. He said, man, you sons of Zeruiah are too much for me, man. Yeah, that was his sister. Those was his nephews. But the funny thing is, they were all buried in a sepulcher in a town in Simeon. So most likely, Joab, Abishai, and Asahel and them were Simeonites. That explains it, though. That explains it. That explains it. So that's how we do know that Saul was a contemporary of Akhenaten. So if you go into Saul being a contemporary of Akhenaten, you do the math and you rewind and bring it back. That puts the children of Israel in Egypt during the 12th to the 14th dynasty. That's why we don't go by the Manethos timeline, because the Manethos timeline is known for stacking pharaohs. We could add another 1,000 to 1,500 years of history to our timeline if we said Rehoboam ruled for 30 years, and after Rehoboam ruled for 30 years, Jeroboam ruled for 30 years. But they ruled at the same time. But if we stack them, like Manetho stacked pharaohs, then we get an extra 1,500 years to our own history. And that's what they did. They stacked pharaohs. So we know that the Hyksos were the people that were in the land during the time that Joseph came in. We also know that there was a revolution in Egypt that took place after the Hyksos. A pharaoh and his brother by the Amos and Kamos, they took back over Egypt. Look that up. The two brothers that took back over Egypt from the Hyksos. And what happens is, that's why it says in the chapter, it says, up came a new king. It says, now there arose, and this is Exodus chapter 1, verse 8. It said, now there arose a new king over Egypt who knew not Joseph. He don't care about Joseph. You helped the oppressor oppress us. You think I biz with you? And you made us in debt to the Pharaoh. So I hate you. I said I hate your gums. I mean, y'all see that? Oh, man, I hate that black Wesley Snipes. He hated everything. They hated us. Why? He said, what? I hate who? Yeah. Y'all, listen, they hated us because not only were we assisting the Hyksos, but we also made most of Egypt in debt to the Pharaoh of the Hyksos Pharaoh. Right? So they had to sell themselves over to this Pharaoh just to eat. That's what they did. So it says, now arose a new king over Egypt who knew not Joseph, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of Israel are too many and too mighty for us. Because we are different kind of people. Egyptians is she foo. You know what I mean? They different. They wear makeup. They come outside with mascara on. You know what I mean? Damn, man. Everybody look like Prince in Egypt. Blouse. Everybody in Egypt look the same way. Everybody in Egypt, because the men wear mascara, foundation and stuff. They come outside, got a dude with a mirror on them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, wigs. They don't even have hair. They say hair is nasty. So they shave everything off and put on a wig. Huh? Shave everything off, put on a wig. Burn hair follicles. Oh, so that could be talking about when it say don't destroy the corners of your head? Which means when you destroy, meaning it's not going to come back from that. The word in Hebrew translates to destroy. Destroy. When something is destroyed, it can't come back. So, all right, cool, we got that. So it says, behold, the people of Israel are too many and too mighty for us. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass when there be a fallout, when there before us any war, they join themselves to our enemies and fight against us. Why would they join themselves to our enemies and fight against us? Why? Because these were a new set of people that had taken back over Egypt. See, Egypt was such a superpower that when people took it over, they assimilated into Egyptian customs. Right? Right? Yo, you see it today. When the Hyksos came into Egypt, they said, nah, we dig this, man. Ain't nothing like y'all Egyptian cotton over here, man. We really like this. We want to dress just like y'all. We going to be just like y'all. Let me put on that robe. When the Greeks came into Egypt, they said, nah, y'all got something going on over here. Huh? Ptolemy was like, listen, we ain't going to change nothing. Leave everything the way it is. I'm Pharaoh. You understand what I'm saying? I'm Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the motherland right now because that's what the Greeks call Egypt, the motherland. You know what I'm saying? That's why they renamed certain parts Alexandria. Right? So, all right. So it said, and their enemies at that time would have been the Hyksos. Where are we? So we're talking about, so let's go to 7 really quickly. We can go there. I ain't going to be up for too much longer. Chapter 7. Yes, sir.
We in the book of Exodus, chapter 7, verse 1. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hearken unto me. And the Most High said unto, hearken unto me. And the Most High said unto Moshe, see, I have set thee in God's stead to Pharaoh.
Right, so this is the only man in history that God made him a god to Pharaoh. God jealous. He don't make nobody a god. That's why he said, nah, I ain't telling y'all where Moses died at. He said, Moses, go on that mountain and die in some undisclosed location because I know these people. They're going to worship him because he did a bunch of stuff. God looked at him and said, Moses, why are you crying? Ain't you Moses? Stretch forth your rod. Make it happen. He was the kind of guy, he didn't even have to consult. He just do it. Pharaoh ain't going to talk for months. Pharaoh been like this. He didn't have to do nothing. He didn't have to ask for permission. God looked at him and said, Ain't you Moses? He looked at him. Moses crying, saying, what we going to do? What we going to do? We got to get across this water. God looked at Moses and said, ain't you Moses? Toughen up, man. You Moses. Stretch forth your rod. Man, you got some tricks up your sleeve. Focus. You the master. You understand what I'm saying? You looking for some dumb boy. You the master. Let's go. Come on. Tumshi.
I have set thee in God's stead to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet.
Listen, they running a whole Boston on Pharaoh. Listen, Moses, don't even talk to him because you a God, man. Get your brother to talk to him. You ain't got to talk to this fool. You don't say nothing to Pharaoh. You going to piss him off, too. Walk up in there and say, you ever had somebody say, well, tell him such and such a thing. Moses ain't got to talk to Pharaoh. Yeah. He said, behold! It's like, stretch, you mean put the rod on it? Behold! You know what I'm saying? Rod turned into a serpent. Moses ain't talking to Pharaoh. That would piss me off. Who is these guys? Come out the desert. He won't even talk to me. His man got to talk. Who is these people? They crazy. Tumshi.
Verse 2.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt speak all that I commanded thee.
Right.
And Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, and he let the children of Israel go out of his land.
Right.
And I will hearken unto Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt.
So he said he will harden. He said, I will harden Pharaoh's heart, right? So when he said he's letting him know, listen, I'm going to do it to him. I'm going to harden his heart. Everything that you go in there that I'm telling you to ask for, I'm going to make him say no. Why? Because we're going to destroy him. We lining him up. Listen, you know, anybody who knows anything about prison system, right? There's certain things that you do that you could play yourself and put yourself in a situation just by how you respond to a situation. And that makes the situation that you put yourself in legitimate to everybody else in the prison. Right? You know what I'm saying? And people can coordinate or create a situation that pulls you in. You understand what I'm saying? I was watching this documentary on Latin Kings. And they were talking about how, no, it was a documentary on the Nietas in Puerto Rico, but it was a response from the Latin Kings. Latin Kings said, nah, we don't deal with Nietas because they marry men. He said they throw rice up in the air and everything, man. So he was like, listen, he said there was a situation where a guy was in the prison. They left markers over by him. They didn't like the guy, but he was solid. So nobody couldn't do nothing to him. So they left magic markers over by him, but they knew he was a graffiti guy. So what are you going to do? He's going to draw. So when he drew on the wall, they put the prison on a lockdown. So now everybody mad at this dude. So when I do it to you now, it's justified in the sight of everybody. You dig what I'm saying? This is what God is doing to Pharaoh. He giving him everything he need for him to violate so that when he do it to him, and the way that he do it to him is justified. Because God don't do nothing that's not justified. He's the king of just weights and balances. So he gonna let you play yourself. He give you opportunity to play yourself. It's justified. Just weights and balances. For every action, there is a reaction. Let's go. Come on.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
But Pharaoh will not hearken unto you, and I will lay my hand upon Egypt, and bring forth my hosts, my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt, by great judgment.
Uh-huh.
And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Most High God. When I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt, I will bring out the children of Israel from among them.
Right.
And Moshe and Aaron did so. As the Most High commanded them, so did they.
Right.
And Moses was 80 years old.
Right.
And Aaron was 83 years old. And they spoke unto Pharaoh. When they spoke unto Pharaoh.
Right.
Verse 8. And the Most High spoke unto Moshe and Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, show a wonder for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it down before Pharaoh.
So the creator is orchestrating this whole thing. He put together the choreography and everything. He said, listen, when you go up in there, listen, you say to your brother, yo, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and he going to stretch forth his rod and do something. He's the armor bearer in this thing. Moses come up in there like this. Yo, throw that down, bro. He might start. Throw that down, bro. Throw that down. That's what it is. And he getting it done. Moshe tried to get out of this like everywhere, every bone in his body. The man that do the word of God or do the job of God don't want to do the job of God. You know why? A dude that say, hey, that's me. You got to watch that dude, man.
That's a whole fact.
I'm the baby prophet. You got to watch that guy. The guy that want to be the prophet, you got to watch that guy, man. Nobody in they, listen, nobody, no, you know something, what it is? When you decide to do a job for the creator in the name of the creator, you don't have no life, man. You don't have no life, man. Yeah, you don't have no life except for that, man. Your kids don't even see you. Your kids don't see you. You be hurt sometimes because you miss a lot of stuff. It's like being at work, man, and you miss all the plays. Kids' plays and stuff like that. You don't get to see nothing. You don't get to do nothing. You can't drink and have fun like everybody else can drink and have fun. It's a sacrifice. You know, a Levite that's a priest can't do certain things. He can't get nice with the rest of y'all, even if you his man. Like, nah, I can't mess with y'all like that. Y'all might be a crew. We like, listen, Levy, we going to the placebo over here, man. What you doing? I can't. I'm going home, man. I can't go have a hangover and go and minister. You know what I mean? It's a certain way in which, or certain sacrifices. That's why he didn't want to do it. Moses said, it's not me. I'm not good for this, man. I'm not good for this. I stutter. I can't even talk. He probably talking clear, too. I stutter. I can't even talk. You know what I'm saying? I can't even talk. Father said, listen, man, you're making me upset. Your brother's on his way over here to meet you. He going with you. Say, how more comfortable could you get when your brother, your man, your ace-bone coon, he coming to meet you? Yeah, big bro. Now you feel safe. What you going to say now, Moses? Cain. And Aaron is on his way. Aaron is on. Listen, I got up this morning, man. You know, I knew I had a job. My job was to meet you. What's popping, babe, bro? You understand what I'm saying? That's big, man. God ain't playing no game. He set this up. He said, I heard the cries of my people. God deliver us when we cry. The problem is we ain't crying. We too happy, man. We sipping Ace of Spade. Huh? We got watches that cost more than people's houses. So we in the club. You go in the club, you forget where you at, man. You understand what I'm saying? That's like that island that, if you ever read the Odyssey, man, Odysseus was on this island with the nymph Calypso. Time was flying and he didn't even know. He's stuck on the island with a nympho. He's like, dang, oh, he ain't got no watch. He's stuck. But this is what this place will do to you. It could rob you of everything that you got, man. Listen, you go outside. People get up in the morning just to go outside because I know I'm going to see something crazy out there. Whether it be a woman, whether it be you entertained by violence. You know, they found a baby girl killed and dumped around the corner from where I live at, over in the swamp. No news. No news about it. No news about it. You know what I mean? No news about it. You know what I mean? You get caught up. Listen, you go to the corner store and you get trapped up and caught up. Everything is sex. In this captivity, everything is sex. They sell you sex, and subconsciously you becoming an nympho too. Because that's what you're growing to accept. It's like, man, you know what I mean? The back of your mind, you say, I like that outfit. I don't like it. The righteous part of you say, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, man. But the animal man in you, it's like, gets the people going. The righteous part, you got the righteous on your shoulder, and then you got that wicked you on your shoulder. And they always banging out. The righteous said, depart swiftly. Depart swiftly, Aki. Depart. Or Koti, depart swiftly. That animal man in you is like, listen, this don't happen every day. Man. But if you look at it from that point of view, I just wanted to hold on. We at Exodus 7:9. Okay. 7:9. Verse 9, right? Let's go with it.
We're in the middle of verse 9. Take thy rod and cast it down before Pharaoh, that it becomes a serpent. And Moshe and Aaron went into Pharaoh, and they did so, as the Most High commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent.
Right. So a lot of things here can be left to the imagination, but also you can look at the etymology of the Hebrew that's used in this particular situation. The word that says letanim. Right. That's not a serpent. It's not, when you say snake, it's usually what? Nakash. Right. So it says tanim, which could be crocodile or something else, or some kind of lizard or a sea monster. He said anaconda. Y'all crazy, man. There. But there was a chapter, where's that other chapter? In Ezekiel. And it refers to Pharaoh as the Letanim. Because in all actuality, Pharaoh was the crocodile. He was the Nile crocodile. They referred to him as Sobek. That's in their language, Sobek, which means crocodile. So this was not only an assault on just throwing a snake down, but this is everything that they stand on. Right. I'm assaulting your whole kingdom. Your dominion is at stake. Throw down your crocodile, I'm going to throw down my crocodile. Let's see what happens. Yeah. I thought the Nile was your river. You supposed to be running things around here. Yeah. Throw it down. So this is actually an assault not only on the thing because, and I'm glad that the kids is learning this because Prince Yak brought it up and he was teaching the kids that. And the thing is that this is an actual assault on the status of the king. It's not just you throw down a snake, I throw down a snake, my snake gonna eat your snake and we just gonna keep it pushing. Nah, this is an insult. Right. Because I am the crocodile. That's crazy. Tumshi. 11. Mm-hmm.
Then Pharaoh also called for the wise men and the sorcerers.
Right, so he said, no, this ain't going down like this. We not taking no L. You think you could do that? I seen that done. Yo, call them guys. He called them guys. Them sorcerers. Them wizards. Them warlocks. Huh? Oh, yeah, you in my league now, baby. Let's see what you got. Huh? You made it from JV, Moses. You know what I'm saying? You ain't in JV no more. Huh? Let's go. Come on.
They called for the wise men and the sorcerers.
Right.
And they also, the magicians of Egypt,
right,
didn't like manner with their secret arts.
Right.
For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods.
He said, start eating up they stuff. Said, listen, I'm going to show you. We the big homie down here. Y'all can't do nothing with what comes from God. They rods, they're serpents, or they're lizards. Was appetizing.
There you go. Snacks.
Yeah. But that's why that word tanim, because nowadays they translate it as giant whales or great whales too. But you know what? The etymology of that word is in reference to reptiles. So in the book of Genesis, when it says tanim hagadol, what is you talking about? I think you're talking about dinosaurs. They found too many skulls for people to be like, nah, they don't exist. People digging them up. So you mean the Illuminati planted skulls in my backyard for me to dig them up, for me to find them and say the dinosaurs don't exist? Come on, man. That's too much work, man. Illuminati behind everything, man. Get out of here, man. That's crazy. There's real skulls, man. They find teeth, man. It's little bones, man. They put them together, man. You know, Illuminati. They just want you to believe that. No, there was dinosaurs, bro. Everybody finding the same damn skulls everywhere? Come on, y'all wildin'. Ain't that much of a conspiracy. I don't see how the existence of dinosaurs is going to keep black people down. Come on, let's go.
13.
5 more minutes. Let's go.
And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them.
Right.
As the Most High had spoken. Mm-hmm. And the Most High said unto Moshe, Pharaoh's
He tight.
heart is stubborn.
He like, what you trying to embarrass me? In front of my people? You trying to embarrass me? I run this. Get these clowns out of here, man. Go ahead.
Pharaoh's heart is stubborn. He refuses to let the people go.
Mm-hmm.
Get thee up unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out into the water, and thou shalt stand by the river brink to meet him.
Let me get the thing up here. So now he threw him out, but now they starting to follow him. They stalking Pharaoh. Everywhere he pull up, they behind him. Talking about let the people go. They nuisances. I can't get rid of this dude. Yo, you got to think of it this way. Egyptians was fly, immaculate. You understand what I'm saying? And you think of it from what you've been subjected to from a hip hop point of view. And it's like you got this guy that's draped in all kinds of diamonds and splendor, and you got this dude that got dirty sandals on following him around trying to tell him what to do. And he like, come on, yo, why'd you following me, man? I ain't got nothing for you, man. Go ahead, man. These my people. It's my money. Y'all gets nothing. Get up out of here, man. Matter of fact, get some new sandals, bro. Get some new sandals, man. Your man look bad. How they did on Pay the Four? He said, man, yeah, I don't know what he laughing for. Your man look bad. You need to help him out. Give him something, man. Because that's what it was. It's like, yo, y'all following me around. I run the earth. So I said, the first one that was put up, the first one, they said they followed them to the water. Now, God is attacking all their Egyptian deities. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Attacking them all. The first one he attacks is the Nile deity. You know, the Nile deity is really, really relevant to most of Egyptian mythology in the origin of Egypt. Everything springs forth from the Nile. They say all life is created. According to Egyptian mythology, all life was created on the Nile. You know what I'm saying? That's their. Now the Nile not only was that, but the Nile also was the blood source of Osiris. Yo, the funny thing about so let's get into a little bit of Egyptian mythology, right? So you had deities, Isis, Osiris, and Horus, right? And a deity named Set. These are their deities on their pantheon. Set is the god of the underworld, or the deity of the underworld. Osiris is the main deity. So, but Osiris' girl, her name is Isis. So, Set don't like Osiris. And I'm going to show you how homo they was too. Set don't like Osiris. So, Osiris gets assassinated by Set. He assassinates him, snuck him. I don't know what god could get assassinated, but he must not be a god because he got assassinated. So he got assassinated. So, and throws his body into the different places, and giant sea crabs eat every part of him except for his phallic. I'm telling you. That's crazy, right? Nasty. Nasty. But this is what Egyptians do. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want that. I ain't even going to go there. We just leave that one alone. Shabbat. Right? So everything they lost except for that. So she finds it and has some sort of immaculate conception with it. That's what they refer to it as. She gives birth to Horus, which is the son of Set. So now all the other demigods, or not demigods, but the other deities that's on the pantheon with Osiris is fighting against Set because Set wants total supremacy. So Set wants to prove that Horus is subservient to him. So what he does is he push up on Horus. But in the same way that them Benjamites pushed up on that Levite. You dig what I'm saying? So, right. So what he does is, some way, somehow, something happened. The story is grotesque. So what happens is that some way, somehow, listen, just don't eat salad dressing in Egypt. You understand what I'm saying? So that right. So this is how the story goes, right? So what happens is it ends up going vice versa. Read it yourself when the sun go down. Don't even worry about it. I'm not going no further in that. But the thing is that all of this stemmed or circled around the Nile. Right? So all their homosexual activities and the spawning of life happened around the Nile. So when the Creator hits the Nile with a plague, it says the Egyptians were also able to turn water into blood, including the death of the Egyptians. So this is what this says, right? It says the Nile was the source of Egypt's power. There are several deities in their pantheon that draw life from the Nile. Khnum was the guardian of the river's source. Hapi was the god of the annual flooding of the Nile and the lord of the fish. Osiris had the Nile as his bloodstream. So this is an attack on their deity. So guess what? Now Moshe is going to show up at the Nile and hit them with plagues that got to go with that. Turn the whole Nile into blood. Not only the Nile, but anything of water that they had turned into blood. So this is deeper than just drawing from one water source. This is deeper than that. So we go from the Nile, and now they tight because they making prayers and all kind of stuff at the Nile. Now they can't even do that. The Nile stink. You know what I mean? And another thing is the Creator's hitting them with their vanity. Egyptians can't wash? They running around smelling bad? They not feeling this. They not feeling this. Stink exists in Egypt, and the Israelites is all right? Because there was a separation between us and them. Like even when we got the plague of darkness, it was light in Goshen. We was like, what y'all Egyptians doing on the other side over there? We can see. We out, you know us. We probably outside playing handball. You know what I mean? Damn, man, they ain't got no light over there. You know what I mean? Barbecue, dang, gonna eat some dog. But the thing is, the Creator made a separation on all of these things. It says the plague of frogs. It says the Egyptians, it says the plague of frogs. It says Hek was the Egyptian goddess with the head of a frog. Right? With the plague of gnats, it says Gad was the god over the dust of the earth. But Egyptians had these things called, I'm sorry, yeah, my fault. Egyptians had these things, they're like, what's those beetles? Scarabs. That was a form of their god as well. And the Creator is just zapping them one by one by one. Flies and gnats. It says the sick cattle. The cattle was a sign of their deity Hathor. There was an attack on that. So the Creator actually attacked all their deities. Go to the next one. Even with the boils, Isis was the goddess of health, and Imhotep was the god of healing. It says the plague of hail, Nut was the goddess of the sky. So God brought hail from the sky, hitting them. You know what I mean? The locusts. Neper or Nepri were the gods and goddesses of grain. Set was the god of disorder. Like all of these were attacks. The darkness was on their sun god that they referred to as Ra. Where Ra at now? It's dark. And it's supposed to be light out here. So the Creator hit them with everything. And even as we left the land of Egypt, you can take it down now, though. Even as we left the land of Egypt, Pharaoh thought he had us where we wanted us. And cornered us by this place called Pehariot. The mouth of the opening. Right? And he said, yeah, I got him where I want him. You know what I mean? I got him where I want him. And it was underneath Baal Zephon, which was the mountain deity that the Egyptians reverenced, as well as the rest of the Canaanites reverenced. And the Saudis. So Baal Zephon, they call him the god of the north, or the master of the north. And this was, so it's like, oh, now I got them. They're right before me with no way out in front of my last functioning deity. So when they came to get us, when we were stuck over there, and we got through that water, and that water came down on them, everybody in the ancient world knew that Yah was king. That's why he said, I'm going to get me a name off of Pharaoh. That's exactly what he said. He said, I'm going to get me a name off of Pharaoh. Hallelujah. Huh? Just two? Okay, cool. We're going to do two songs. We got some new tracks. Giving all honor and praise to the power of Abraham, to the power of Isaac, and to the power of Jacob. Thanking the Creator for opportunity.
A thing that is or is likely to be wrong.
Hallelujah. 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 All right, so I'm coming new. You know what I'm saying? Coming new with a new vibe. I'm working on a album, a whole project, my own project. So this like the first song to enter my project. So you know what I'm saying? All right, the name of it is The Only One. The Only One. Okay.
Yo, Oz, come here, man. Let me talk to you, man. You my son, man. You gotta be upright, fearless, and independent, bro. Just let go and let God.
You're the only one for me. You're the only one we need. When we pray to God and plead, that's when we start to succeed. Wake up, look in the mirror, be yourself. Don't let the blessings slip onto nobody else. Wake up, look in the mirror, be yourself. Don't let the blessings slip onto nobody else. How you gon' call on his name like that? Knowing that you faking on the game like that. Get into your God and you can reign like that. Looking at my people, I'm ashamed like that. In the midst of God's presence, make them hit the jets. When my mama almighty, ain't no pigeon chest. In tune with the Lord, let's reach a higher power. I ain't hearing no cries, pray a little louder. The pain of an Israelite leading people to get it right. But the arrogant mind is the religion of the heathen life. Deaf, dumb, blind, without God is our way. That's why I always pray to God so I can see them better days. That's why I get into God's lessons, taking on all blessings. If you ain't with the credit, you drowning in your own depression. Silence is the key to our destruction, not the better life. Take wisdom by the hand and carry on, cause that's the better wife. You're the only one for me. You're the only one we need. When we pray to God and plead, that's when we start to succeed. Wake up, look in the mirror, be yourself. Don't let them blessings slip onto nobody else. Wake up, look in the mirror, be yourself. Don't let them blessings slip onto nobody else. How you gon' call on his name like that? Knowing that you faking on the game like that. Get into your God and you can reign like that. Looking at my people, I'm ashamed like that. I can't fake when I'm pushing on that route, I hit the place, just believe me. In the world, it's just popping out like it's bleeding. I'm feeling for that knowledge, boy, I'm greedy. You see me, it's just coming down the aisle, please get out the way. Cause Wayne with our king, he clear past the leader straight. You got the lawyer, brother, though, you gotta put him on. Attracted to the folly, but our minds is really gone. Got me singing unity, grabbing on and on. Living in a system of today. I gotta grind all the time, get on my knees and pray. Level up in God's ways, cause when you count to the limit, you gon' see it pay. Got me hitting melodies, I'm feeling what I know. Pack up your stuff, your back and rise, cause we on the go. We the real, this ain't just a spam, a little show. When we God the Lord, give us ability to grow. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Got him. We got another one for y'all real quick. It's called The End of Days. Yeah. Yeah, all praises due. All praises due. To God, I'm a forefather.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Just trying to be a part of that.
The spirit in this room. Come on, y'all.
Feel me?
Okay. Yeah.
By the end of the days, I'm trying to be considered. Taking heed and pay my seat, living in the scriptures. Count my D's, looking for peace, begging forgiveness. Got my eyes, close my teeth, and being a witness. Most high God is the key to better living. Once some nations, then you start from the beginning. God, you bleed in my back, away from sinning. Keep a just with some balance, and you winning. Love, you winning.
I just wanna see a change. I just wanna be with Israel unity and praise his name. We be so confused on what to do, we switching all these names. I be so tough with the book, I'm not playing these games. Really not playing this game. If you yourself, is you alright? Up to the reach to the heights. Now we making a move, are you part of the group? Is you a part of the fight? Gotta stay your toes, the devil of boast. After 7 still, I want you to fall. Like I'm about some moves, I hope. Once it fall, know that go. Got me bugging on my mind. It's supposed to be the nation that's gonna do the rose and shine. Instead we fighting with each other, that's the focus on the crime. Time to pack up our stuff and start hitting the grind. When we start hitting the grind, go to your God, humble yourself. You should not think no one else. You will the roads, I hold the stars, start keeping the tent like a belt. That's right. It's what I think about nation, it's what I think about myself. myself. Wait, this is what I think about this one. This is what I think of myself.
By the end of days, I'm trying to be considered. Taking heed and pray my seed, live in the scriptures. Counting my D's, looking for peace, begging forgiveness. Now my eyes, close my T's, and bear the witness. Most High God is the key to better living. Want some answers, then you start from the beginning. Dodging greed and my path away from sin. Keep it just with some balance and you winning. Flee away from greed and what you told. Value in the scripture ways and gold. Searching for the truth in God's way.
That's my best friend.
Walking safe for living, then I'm sold. Living the bodies keeps subservient to the monster. But that's the top of Jacob Mountain where we prosper. Praising the leaves, giving our praises to our Father. All the nations giving us praise and showing us honor. God bless. Pray to reach our peak that was foretold. In this modern life, we forgot the ways of old. MBK protect my people, that's the bro code. Walk my path because my ego is for so cold. What's to make the cut? Giving a head start. Born again, the Lord's beside in my inward parts. In this journey to the life, the tunnel so dark. All my path to do is right, we strive to be the spark. By the end of the days, I'm trying to be considered. Taking heed and pray my seed, live in them scriptures. Counting my D's, looking for peace, begging forgiveness. Now my eyes, cross my T's, and bear witness. Most High God is the key to better living. Want some answers, then you start from the beginning. Dodging greed in my path away from sin. Keep a just, ways and balance, and you winning. Freedom of the soul, living the ways of old. In our drive, we hit some bumps in the road. When we drive, we like a signal made of gold. At the end, all our paths are foretold. Freedom of the soul, living the ways of old. In our drive, we hit some bumps in the road. When we drive, we like a signal made of gold. At the end, all our paths are foretold. Hallelujah.
Give it up, y'all. Give it up. This the day of the we breaking records today. Guess Akmon's to give y'all one. Come on, let's go, y'all. Y'all ready? Here we go. Send my praises high, straight up to the sky. When we praising Yah Elohim, I'm not gonna waste no time. What he say? Oh, it's a joy every time we wake up. Somebody say amen. Blessings overtaking my soul. Yahweh want us to win. Just glad to be here. Still I can feel the wind. Still I can call my friend. That's why I give my praise to him. Rough times come, don't worry, it happens to the best of us. Long as we live and we good, cause most high be guiding us. Make sure you don't do the right thing. Keep looking forward when the light change. Stay positive and try not to complain. Send my praises high, straight up to the high. When we praising Yah Elohim, I'm not gonna waste no time. What he said? Righteousness shall lead the way. Say your prayers, just have faith. Oh, don't forget, call on him. When we rise in the morning, hey, makes him be starving. They wanna be our darling. Hey, never will I walk away from your way. Most High, your word is what he tells me. Gotta rise for the betterment. Hey, can't get taken out my element. Hey, everybody in for fellowship. Yahweh and love you, negligence. Send my praises high, straight up to the sky. Alright. Hey, we be praising Yah Elohim. I'm not gonna waste no time. What's up? Praise no one else has a bless. To you I give my all, that's my very, very best. Pray him morning, noon, and night, I know you keep me blessed. Never to a man is always thinking God when I confess. Praise no one else has a bless. To you I give my all, that's my very, very best. Pray him morning, noon, and night, I know you keep me blessed. Never to a man is always telling God when I confess. Send my praises high, straight up to the sky. Hey, when we praising God no time. Hey, hallelujah.
Fire.
That's tough.
Where you at?
All right. Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I mean,
Can I live?
take the can.
Everybody got something to say.
Everybody got a problem. Everybody
Just the Israel we got now. It's like, can I live?
I mean, I ain't on the side.
I ain't for wrong. But just make sure your closet clean. That's all, man. Check it. I was like, good God Almighty. How we striving with the beast, but trying to be somebody. 85% Israel just want to do what they do. 10% know the facts, but scared to spark up the truth. Now it's up to 5% to speak the truth. What about our leaders? Yeah, I only know of a few. A lot of people wear the title. But when it come time to stand against the masses, they caught standing idle. But let's get back to the matter. It's hard to combat a situation using Torah with a bunch of brains scatter brains. Tough mouths is usually ones pelting stones that live in the glass house. From laws of the Torah to songs of a goat. Now it's a bunch of half-fatters with a rope at your throat. Now we got Facebook judges and Facebook court. Law ain't required for the process, just what Facebook thought. Can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? How we acting like we striving, but we living as such. Can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? How we acting like we striving, but we living as such. Now it's do as thou want and live how thou please. Everybody came and Jacob got a trick up their sleeve. Our choreography, baton to show with plague and disease. We playing the game where sinners can't get off the main screen. It's Israel in the house. I got my doubts. Unity song and dance is more like talking it out. A gold ring and rubies ain't valid in the pig snout. It's hard to do the mission when killing the kids pout. Stuck at blessings up, tail tucked, gassed about. The Sabbath ain't sanctified no more, they laugh about. I got the science, but everybody swinging swords like David in adversity against the giant. Chit chatter with no heart, you better off quiet. No more, you better off silent. All you can is quiet. The street fighters, can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Okay. Israel, what's up? How we acting like we striving, but we living as such? Can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? How we acting like we striving, but we living as such? Two-step, perfected swag from my teachers. People who ain't in the game is heckling from the bleachers. Check it out, I know Moses teaching procedures. I cross the seas on dry shop, still couldn't avoid these leeches. I'm Malachi type, I got the right to snipe or sight without a meeting. Y'all like the cast of attack from the back when we was leaving Egypt region. I ain't dismayed by the signs of season, cause I'm in line with the divine and inclining the reason. The Sabbath's my sign that my tribe beastin'. To show that we live and vibe Eastern. Walking like Abraham with a Jacob lips, sounding like a pair. See no for I don't trips, but I bet I feel better than all of them. See the law ethics perfected, more practice the methodology. Follow me, Wallaby Clark stepping. Reppin' ZC Vesson, finessing hard lessons. Dwelling in oppression, professing God's blessing. I up to us. See, that's the plight of the Zabulonite. Yeah, they running saying we don't do it right. We tried to bring the blinds to the light. Why? Cause I'm an Israelite. Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? How we acting like we striving, but we living as such? Can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? Can I live? Israel, what's up? How we acting like we striving, but we living as such? Can I live?
This one go up top, right? You got another one? Chris, you got another joint? No, you got slow.
What's up, man? What's up, man? What's up, man? All glory, all praise is due to the God of our forefathers. The God of Abraham, Yitzchak, or Yisrael. Yo, remember the
We gotta get to the verse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hold on.
What you want? You don't want to do this? You don't want to do the one for the sisters?
No.
It's too. For the sisters. Oh, no. It's too
I ain't
rough.
too rough.
Yeah, I can do that. you know all these songs. What you want? It don't matter, man. Huh? What y'all want to do? What y'all want to hear? Where y'all want to hear? Huh?
I got one for you, man. Cause I love your verse on this joint, man. This your track.
Which one that? What's that?
Just cause I ain't gonna do my verse.
What is it? Nah, you gotta do your verse.
Come on. Where you at?
Watch out. 318 warriors experts from the land of Chaldean, from the land of Earth. Well, you know Abraham is coming from Shomer. Yes, a true patriarch, the lion rose up. All descendants of Eve in this cold world, so be there. When the wicked upon me, why your life regret? But we shine brighter than the big depend. It's not helpless, we are born in it. So we can't find no way fools in it. We are most is who we consider. It's the major likeness of who we mirror. So we fast on that one every young keeper. But the presence of it comes here with some sugar. When we get the link to jump on the set of our scripture. Your word perfect, it needs no friction. Living in this cold world. Living in this cold world. In who y'all bless, no one can curse. In who y'all curse, no one can reverse. Trapped inside, living in this cold world. Inside, living in this cold world. No one can curse. And who y'all curse, no one can reverse. Cause them on them evil thoughts, on them secret hearts, and them a move covert. But the Almighty bless and will put you first. I the only means to reverse the curse. We're living in this cold world, trapped inside, living in this cold world. And who y'all bless, no one can curse. And who y'all curse, no one can reverse. Living in this cold world. Living in this cold world. Oh, who y'all bless, no one can curse. Oh, who y'all curse, no one can reverse. Trapped inside, living in this cold world. Living in this cold world. No one can curse. And who y'all curse, no one can reverse. Hey, too much wicked in this cold world. But I'm steadfast in your scriptures. Much adversary out to get ya. Them doctrines from your past that had you mixed up. You still worship JC, you crazy. Deuteronomy 28 explain slavery. We done been through many wars, ain't in the Navy. Give praise to the Most High, please come and save me. Every time I open a book, it's still amazing. Israelite from just four corners, I'm feeling weighty. 10 toes down, I'm a soldier, I'm operating. As long as I'm living in Torah, they can't explain me. Living in this cold world. Living in this cold world. And who y'all bless, no one can curse. And who y'all curse, no one can reverse. Trapped inside, living in this cold world. Living in this cold world. No one can curse. And who y'all curse, no one can reverse. From the land of Chaldean, from the land of Earth. Well, you know Abraham is coming from Shomer. Yes, a true patriarch, the lion rose up. All descendants of Eve. Of Eve. Real warrior nation. See me? Yeah. Warrior nation. No one can curse. It's like the time of Balaam, you know? Yeah, you know? They was on the mountain trying to curse us. They couldn't curse us, you know? Like the time of Balaam, you see? I'm Balak. Oh, yeah, you ready? Go. No, man. Go, sir. Yeah.
Let me see if it's there. Hold on.
A long time I did that one day, I say, yo, at them time I know we have conquer Egypt, we could do something different and step on them different,
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A different time different time. Habib's is just around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Right now, y'all know we're in the second day of the 11th month. Y'all following through. If y'all follow through with everything that we're doing so y'all can stay on point. We're doing new moons, we're doing half Torahs, we're doing our sister started back the Erevs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that y'all for that? Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sisters, y'all need that, right? Yeah. Y'all need that, right? Brothers, y'all, we need that, right? Yeah. All right, we need this. We need this. And people online, I know y'all need this. This knowledge is needed. I remember when I was looking for knowledge. You know what I mean? Searching, and you can't find it. You can't find it nowhere. So, you know what? We got to be the ones to put it there. Okay, I got you. You ready? You ready? Yeah. This one is Psalms 15. Yo, Psalms 15. Yo, I want to know that media. Psalms 15. Okay. You ready? Yeah. You ready, Prince? Yeah. You do it like Dougie Fresh. You ready? Yawa. Who may abide in your tabernacle? Who may dwell in your own hill? He who walk uprightly and works righteousness and speaks the truth in his heart. He who bites not with his tongue, nor does evil to a neighbor, nor does he take up a reproach against a brethren, neither a sister, in whose eyes a vile person is despised, but he honors those who fear Yah. He who swears to his own earth and does not change. Yeah. He who put it not his money, not to usury, nor bribes, not take up a reproach against the innocent. He who does these things shall never be moved. Most high, him alone may choose. Who may abide in your tabernacle? Who may dwell in your own hill? He who walks uprightly and works righteousness and speaks the truth in your... Speak it in your heart, in your mind, in your everything, in all you're doing, you know what I mean? What you say? You know what? Tell them 6 things the most I hate, 7 which are abominations. 6 things the most I hate, 7 which are abominations. 6 things the most I hate, 7 which are abominations. 6 things the most I hate, 7 which are abominations. Let me tell you about them proud looks and lying tongues, those hands that shed innocent blood, those hearts that devises wicked thoughts, those feet that are sweat unto running unto mischief, and all false witness who love breed out lies, and those ones that sow discord amongst brethren. Hey, so be not wise in thine own eyes. Learn to fear the Most High. Depart from evil. It shall be health to your flesh. It shall be health to your navel. It shall be marrow to your bones. Bless the Most High that you had called. Who gives strength to his own. Yah never left we alone. Mount Zion our home. We are him sons from the throne, keeping covenant and testament, and we proclaim your renown. Hey, we no want grow old in this strange land, in a foreign land cold. So with me heart and me mind and soul must return with his heel tenfold. 6 things the most I hate, 7 which are abominations. 6 things the most I hate, 7 which are abominations. 6 things the most I hate, 7 which are abominations. 6 things the most I hate, 7 which are... Yo, God, the fear of Yah is to hate evil, pride, arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth is the most I hate. Yah hates, All them modern day pharaohs who are trying to frustrate. One black man from enter all among Zion gate. In the midst of the fire you communicate. With no other nation them do so great. With signs and wonders to liberate. Almighty stretch forth and none can escape. Oh, believe there's no getaway. So don't be witless without no faith. Your name is a tower of refuge. The righteous run to and they are safe. So don't have no other gods before his face. Neither lies nothing when no man and make. Your name in a vain you know want to take. Keep the Sabbath holy and don't you forsake. And don't you forget to give your due praise. Give the Most High his praise. 6 things the Most High hate. 7 which are abominations. 6 things the Most High hate. 7 which are abominations. 6 things the Most High hate. 7 which are abominations. 6 things the Most High hate. 7 which are hallelujah. 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 Praise the mighty God. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty God. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty God. Hallelujah. That's right. The book say praise him. Praise who? Praise Yah.
That's right. That's right. Give it up for y'all dog, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a roll call. We need everybody on this one. Everybody on this one. It's a roll call. Turn it up for me a little bit.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Roll call. Roll call. We are the army of people. Stand in the Yah's call. Hey, roll call. Roll call. And death to the God of our fathers. Gotta make sure this go for. Nice good. Roll call. Roll call. Culture deprived by no people. Every second that we start. Roll call. Hey. Roll call. Separate me from the foolish. And the gods are no more. I'm not an animal. I am an Israelite. Right. Born and raised in the fight. My tribe is a fool tonight. Right. Don't try and test the waters. Cause that be a foolish bite. Fisherman, 100-man hustle. Hit our people with different plights. Okay. Smooth as a drum skin. Yeah, we hit the cowbell when we coming in. 7 pounds around the world and it's coming in. Till it's pitch Jericho, what you rubbing in? Okay. But we got a horse and a stone. Okay. We embellish the yoke at his own. Pray with our hand on the Bible. As we walk through the valley, you drive bombs. Cause the one that hurts the most time is your own. Steady getting right, make place for the land. We still in politics, playing game for the throne. On this path for this route that I'm on. Okay. Take a yellow brick road and I'm on. Put my heel on the head in a circle. So it's an E, good and evil ain't on. Okay. But it's peace, there's love to the devil. I'll bring your business to help you see better. Snuggle birds will be birds of a feather. Son of God here printed on my sweater. Real love is to hold us together. At the end of the days we gon' be trendsetters. Give my life for my kids to see better. Give my life for my kids to see better. Like, hey, roll call. Roll call. We are an army of people. Stand in the Yah's call. Roll call. Roll call. And death to the God of our fathers. Gotta make sure there's no fall. Like, roll call. Roll call. Culture deprived by no people. Every second that we store. Okay. Roll call. Roll call. Separate real from the foolish. Son of God, no more. We hit snooze on the better man. Cause right take a side of our element. We understand next to y'all for a settlement. Fake love every time that we fellowship. Okay. Take for granted our crown. Expecting y'all to hold us down. But these are the kings, we are the people in the. That's how we break it down. Blood while we rape them child. Lost dogs on the road, no homeboy bad. I fed in the taste to the homeboy child. When we homeboy slaves, you sure the Gentiles. We just told until I got the itis. Keep my spiritual level on highest. We was made in the image of Yah, but not in his physical, more in his likeness. Wait. Speak to God in my prayers for guidance. Yeah. When it comes to this law, I'm so biased. Yeah. Then we come back. Torah got the test like Midas. When my name proclaimed by the highest, describing this book for my deeds being pious. Hey, roll call. Roll call. We are the army of people. Stand in the Yah's call. Roll call. Okay. Roll call. Okay. And death to the God of our fathers. Gotta make sure there's no fall. Like, hey, roll call. Roll call. Culture deprived by no people. Every second that we store. Okay. Roll call. Roll call. Okay. Separate real from the foolish. Son of God, no more. Hey. Get it.
Hey, give it up, y'all. Give it up for Prince, yeah. Give it up for the Most High. Give it up for the Most High. Give it up for the Most High. Yeah, you should be on your feet right now. Give it up for the Most High. Yeah.
Like deceptive appearance, more impression. A foresight, their belief. In all things, these are illusions.
I put time in this, and no one does it. That's an illusion. It's an illusion, y'all. I chose what's best for me. I'm a bask in His glory. That's an illusion. It's an illusion, y'all. Sing with me now. And the stars praying to you.
Okay.
And the stars waiting for you.
Talk to him. Hey.
Can I take the Bible? I feel like my D's ain't gonna notice now. But if I did bad, I'll be the focus now. Just need a second to think, get time to sketch it out.
With what?
With all this holy stuff.
Right.
See, we only use knowledge to prove we know enough. With Wikipedia, your teacher be calling you bluff. As if just giving y'all his praise wasn't solid enough. We was doing it for the Father, we doing it for our honor. We sabotaging perversion. Now we living in karma while metaphorically speaking. One hand washes the other while the face still covered in garbage. Okay, see the steady crowd. That's right, struggle outside the box when we ponder with that. That's right, then you show you the stars, stunt double in cash. But never seem to blame yourself for your scars and your past.
Time in this, and no one knows it. That's an illusion. It's an illusion, y'all. I chose what's best for me. I'm a bask in His glory. That's an illusion. It's an illusion, y'all. Sing with me now. Like the stars praying to you.
Come on, y'all.
The stars waiting for you.
Alright, story of Job reversed with some of us past. Alright, we in it to reap up the benefits, some of the past.
Okay.
Asking how he on the coast, yeah, some of us gas. Reptile elevated, the snake in the grass. We abuse the way of our culture. Circles around the Torah, we're giving something like vultures. We're making game out the fly, something like vultures. From our titles that's being given, no muscle soldiers. I gotta get myself together, that's the biggest talk. You just highly in your folly chose a different walk. Never thought to pray together, is to stay together. By walking the same path, we can face whatever. We understand we obligated to be elevated. Best of trying to be yourself, you poor trying to fake it. And all secondary things keep it separated.
That's right.
Let your own reflectory in your
I put time in this, and no one knows it. That's an illusion. It's an illusion, y'all. It's an illusion, y'all. Bask in His glory. That's an illusion. It's an illusion, y'all. Sing with me now. And the stars praying to you. Stop waiting for you.
Hey. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We got one more. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty God. Yeah, this right here called Moshe Cry. Okay. Listen.
I can see it coming down my eyes. For the way we have Moshe cry. Oh no.
It's weighing heavy in the back of my mind. For the way we watch Moshe die.
Now it's coming down my eyes. For the way we have Moshe cry.
It's sitting heavy in the back of my mind. For the way we watch Moshe die.
Hey, hey. It's real facts coming back when you gotta relive your tracks. 100 miles to count when the pillar sword if you looking back. Dance with your demons cause evil spirits penetrate cracks. They crafty counts by the masses just to hold us in slack. The kept you clean beside the scriptures get reference to that. We chose to live by the Torah's orders, this return of the blacks. Holding the man to a Moshe, a burden out back. And we still create power of leadership, seeing Moses mishaps. Paraplegic on steps to ensure the betterment. While Europeans is working us out our elements. We gave the holy scriptures before rhetoric. While we chose to kill our own in the streets like degenerates. We were promised a form of deliverance. Put the gun down, son, it ain't that serious. UNITY should be our sentiment. Well, gosh, Moses delaying, so it's living in sin again. I can see it coming down my eyes. For the way we had Moshe cry. It's weighing heavy in the back of my mind. For the way we lost Moshe die. Now it's coming down my eyes. For the way we had Moshe cry. It's weighing heavy in the back of my mind. For the way we lost Moshe die. It's critical when God makes plans to come and visit you. A flock without a shepherd, the wolves to put an end to you. In order, but God problems with servitude. We screaming gang, gang with our brothers, blood on our hands and shoes. We praise a whole lot of freaks. A sister ain't none without showing a whole lot of meat. Calling them queens, we talking a hole through our teeth. Now the culture corrupted, they looking more to the streets. Play by play is how this movement grows. Shortcuts is a problem, leave too much loopholes. Situations may change and only God knows. You still can't take steps of assurity with your eyes closed. Y'all promise slavery to the beast. We under the reins of the fourth one as we speak. To my people I be lying right through my teeth. If I say this generation surpass the ones that's asleep, I can see it coming down my eyes. For the way we had Moshe cry. Being heavy in the back of my mind. For the way we had Moshe die. Now it's coming down my eyes. For the way we had Moshe cry. It's weighing heavy in the back of my mind. For the way we had Moshe die. Yeah. So Moses deserves. Give it up, give it up, give it up. That was fire. Hallelujah. And he buried him in the valley. Hold on. Over against Pure. But no man knows. Yeah. Say fire. He was 120 years old when he died. Alright. Okay. Here go I walk in the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil. Hey. But I will. Yeah, my staff. They comfort me. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Shadow with death. I fear no evil. I don't fear evil. Fear no evil. I don't fear evil. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Shadow with death. I fear no evil. I don't fear evil. Fear no evil. I don't fear no evil. Fear no evil. Walking through the valley. Put my boots on that king out and walk through it gladly. Oh my! As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Shadow of death. I fear no evil. I don't fear evil. Fear no evil. I don't fear no evil. I'm a king, I'm not a slave, man. I wanna go away. That's why I say, okay. I'm on the land, I'm so love with my left hand. Tied up down to the crook of my white man. I wanna be free, get these chains off me. I'm an Israelite, Israel plays and see. I got my CC phone like the Red Sea. Okay. And Abraham is just that rock that I'm striving to be. Throwing my foundation, using it to build my nation. It's my proclamation. Don't be engaged in this meditation. My land through the Jews that tuck and snatching my jewels. And they running for his people while people cussing the snooze. I'm not tired, but I'm not ready to lose. Man, it's really time to fight, try to take it so it's my birthright. Israelite, look at myself and see it's my blood type. Israelite, look at myself and see it's my blood type. Sideways, do this beast, and my Moriarty in the morning, so it's on repeat. Some spectaculous and something accurate. They lock us up, they try to catch us, they try to master us. We never stop cause it's the back in us. It's really do or die. Then who am I? It's that young Israel repping y'all worldwide. Should I do it for the culture? These cities something like roaches and they weighing the ghost and they got the gun up in the host. Come on! As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Shadow of death. I fear no evil. I don't fear evil. Fear no evil. I don't fear no evil. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Shadow of death. I fear no evil. I don't fear evil. Fear no evil. I don't fear no evil. Fear no evil. Walking through the valley. Put my boots on that king guy and walk through it gladly. Oh my! As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Shadow of death.
up.
I fear no evil.
I don't fear no evil.
Fear no evil.
I don't fear no evil. There's death at my face in the valley of the sheets. There's a dead feeling cause my people really sleep. Trying to give them food for thought, but they don't want to eat. Gotta make it in the car, but it's hard to split the sleep. Play around, time to put in work. Trying to pass some wisdom on them, they just wanna hurt. Walking with our eyes closed, valley of the curse. Trying to spit some heat, I'ma hit you with a verse. Kill these bones, I don't think I wanna know. That power is for God, that can't be putting on the show. Open up your eyes, don't you see it's time to rise. Everything is not a game, gotta get a little wise. Never try to get the crowd, this is who we are. Stop hiding from your power, start taking on the drugs. We've been around since it's now time to step apart. Gotta find our own path, mapping us to God. 613 roads, yeah, they help me in my way. I'm thinking about my vision, we can live a better day. Moving with precision, now they wonder why the rave. Waking up their brain is touched, now they feel ashamed. I'm thanking God every day, I'm a part of the plan. Even when you wasn't eyes, now I really understand. I'm feeling very special cause it gave them a chance. Once I get back to the lane, I'm doing my dance. So I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Shadow with that.
I fear no evil.
I don't fear evil.
Fear no evil.
I don't fear no evil.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Shadow with that.
I fear no evil.
I don't fear evil.
Fear no evil.
I don't fear no evil.
Walking through the valley. With my boots on that king, I ain't walk through it gladly.
Oh my!
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Shadow with that.
I fear no evil.
I don't fear evil.
Fear no evil.
I don't fear no evil. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh? I don't know.
Yo, if you want to check it out, you gotta
What you got?
Hallelujah. One more. Maybe you'll rise. Huh? Oh, all right, hold on. You say got one more. Oi.
Don't do that, brother. Nah, too many sisters. Alright. You gotta promote it, man. You gotta promote it. King, brother. To my sister.
Hallelujah.
One time, and we gonna give glory to God in prayer. Yeah, yeah. Hey, guess what? Doing this love makes me happy. Serving this King makes me happy. I just want to be free and so happy. Living this life makes me happy. I'ma look to the rock for what's came. I don't wanna go down as profane. I don't wanna be looked at with this thing. Giving you my heart, you got a whole thing. Doing this love makes me happy. Serving this King makes me happy. Hey, everything is peace when I break my God. Everything is peace when I do His law. Everything is peace when I break my God. Everything is peace when I do His law. Doing His law makes me happy. Serving His God makes me happy. Oh, His law makes me happy. Seeing my wife and my children makes me happy. All these pure hearts run from sin. Cause when we obey His glorious name, doing His love makes me happy. Hey, serving my King makes me happy. I just want to be free and so happy. Living this life makes me happy. Reading His precepts over and over makes me happy. Okay, reading His precepts over and over makes me happy. Hey, doing His law makes me happy. Serving my King makes me happy. Oh, His law makes me happy. Hey, seeing my wife and my children makes me happy. Hey, hey, God's my life. Who should I be afraid of? Whoa, hey, hey, guess what? Doing this Lord makes me happy, so happy. Doing this Lord makes me happy, so happy. Oh, yeah. Hey, doing this Lord makes me happy. Serving this King makes me happy. I just want to be free and so happy. Living this life makes me happy. I'm looking to the right for which came. I don't want to go down as profane. I don't want to be looked at the best thing. Giving you my heart, you got a whole thing. Doing this Lord make me happy. Serving my King makes me happy. Hallelujah. 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 Let us rise and face the evil. Let's get it.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Great King, God of our forefathers, God of Abraham, God of Yitzchak, God of Israel. He who said, let there be, and there is. Torah for this blessed day, the Shabbat day, O great King, where we come together, Father, to give thanks and praise unto your high and holy name, Father. Torah for blessing us with this place, Shema Israel, and places like unto, O great King. Torah for the blessings you bestow upon our soul, O great King. I ask, Father, with a humbling heart, that you be with my Abba, I have not seen you poor things of Buddha. You guys save and protect me, O great King, and allow him to hear, O great King.
When I walk is by the way.
All my family, O great King.
I'm gonna pray my King, yes I am.
Father, I ask that you be with our brother of mine, so God save and protect and bless him, O great King, in the house of many doors. And that you allow him, O great King, to play a chance, O great King, and a chance to come home unto us, Father.
By the way.
Holy name.
I'm gonna pray my King,
O great King.
yes I am.
Torah for not passing up on us, Father. Torah for the opportunity allowing us to get some wisdom not to withstand the Lord, O great King. I ask that you be with our families that know not you, O great King, and that you grant them that same opportunity, Father. That you open their hearts and their minds and their ears, O great King, unto this word, O great King, unto your word, O great King, and that they heed the message, O great King, and that they hear what we got to say unto them, Father. Torah for all blessings, O great King. I'm going to small laws, O great King. Torah for all the people here that we call family, O great King. I ask that you be with Kobe, Israel, on the four corners of the earth, O great King. And allow us to be able to come together under one accord, O great King. Righteously, Father, on the real guidelines and principles, O great King.
I can't wait to pray.
Torah for all things and everything, O great King. With that, Father, I say, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I'm gonna pray my King.
Praise the mighty God.
I'm gonna pray my King, yes I am. I can't wait to praise his holy name. Praise him when I walk his by the way. I'm gonna pray my King, yes I am.
Again, we pay homage to the power of Abraham,
Heavenly Father,
to the power of Yitzchak, to the power of Israel. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty God.
Yes, I am. I can't wait to praise his holy name. Praise him when I walk his by the way. I'm gonna praise my King, yes I am. I'm gonna praise my King, yes I am. I can't wait to praise his holy name. Praise him when I walk his by the way. I'm gonna praise my King, yes I am. Hey, hey, Heavenly Father, praise him when I walk his by the way. I'm gonna praise my King, yes I am. I'm gonna praise my King, yes I am. I can't wait to praise his holy name. Praise him when I walk walk is by the way. I'm gonna praise my King, yes I am. I'm gonna praise my King, yes I am. I can't wait to praise his holy name. Even when I walk is by the way, I'm gonna praise my King, yes I am. Noggin, noggin. Most High forgive me for all that I done. Hey, that wasn't right before you. I will forget. Hey, hey, Most High forgive me for all that I done. Oh boy, hey, take it to the land my fathers live, my fathers live. Wanna take it to the land my fathers live, my fathers live. But it was in Babylon, sat down here because Yahweh, think about it, Jerusalem, and Yahweh. But it was in Babylon, sat down here because Yahweh, think about it, Jerusalem, and Yahweh. He's Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. He's Yahweh, 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 yeah. Hey, 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 praise, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, hey, take it to the land my fathers live, my fathers live. Wanna take it to the land my fathers live, my fathers live, Yahweh. But it was a Babylon, sat down there because Yahweh, think about Jerusalem and But it was a Babylon, sat down there because Yahweh, think about Jerusalem and He's Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. He's Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Pray, 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 pray. Hold on. Receive God now, Yera, Yahuwah. God now, Yera, Yahuwah, Hey, Resi Kagmayera Yahuwah. Resi Kagmayera Yahuwah. Hey, Resi Kagmayera Yahuwah. Kagma Yera Yahuwah Ulwaye Olamwaye Ulwaye Hold on. Praise Yah. 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 In the morning when to you, God, 'cause I know that my God, He lives with me. So what you wanna? Everybody singing, Yah. Hey, hey, my Yah lives in me. Yah, Yah, Yah. Hey, my Yah lives in me. In the morning, I give thanks to Yah, to you, oh Yah. I'm gonna give my praise, 'cause I know that my Yah lives. He lives within you. Everybody singing Yah. Hey, Yah. My Yah lives in me. Hold on. Yah. Yeah, God. My Yah lives in me. Hey, God. Reggae. Chanel. Shalosa. Arba. Say who? Hey.
It's a quick announcement, family. Quick. Shalom, family. Quick announcement, real quick. For those who may have were in contact with our brother in Georgia, there's someone that has his old number. A lot of people probably were subject to somebody asking for money, funding, or something like that, saying they're in a bond. The number is 404-552-2533. He's called a number of people. I guess he's picked up what's going on, people contacting whatever, and picked up how to talk to people in a man in a certain kind of way, sound conscious or whatever, but he's requesting money. So if you get a call or text message from that number, disregard it, because it's a scam. All right. And we will be returning at 3:30, family. Hallelujah.